Hey, what's up, everyone? What's going on? Welcome in, welcome in. I see you guys coming in. Guys, today I am super hyped and excited because we have somebody that I really did not expect after 2 years of doing this podcast that we would have MrGregles on today. And I'm so hyped for this. What's up, everyone coming? I see Canela coming in. What's up, Canela? Angela, welcome in. And yeah, guys, it's gonna be incredible. So if you're not familiar with this powerhouse drummer, then you're really in for a treat because he is an extraordinary drummer. And he also has a podcast with two other amazing drummers from Twitch. We're gonna learn more about that. And also, guys, this is the first podcast with my co-host. If you guys didn't know, Luna moved in last week. He's a New Yorker now, so guess what?
We're in the same room.
We're in the same room, finally.
I'm not over there anymore.
Yeah, that's the lonely shadow of Jersey. So this Jersey boy.
That empty spot over there is where I used to sit. Now I'm here.
Yeah. Hey, Max. Max, thanks for coming in. Max is from Sweden, and he's gonna do a takeover travel show here on YenYorkCity. So we're gonna go to Sweden, and he's gonna take us there soon. So that's gonna be we're actually making the last minute plans because that's gonna be the next show that's gonna happen. And yeah, and he's gonna have his new shows in the new improved place. And I have an e-kit now.
She's gonna take advantage.
I'm gonna be playing. Hey.
It's gonna be early morning, and I'm gonna be sleeping, and all I'm gonna hear is.
Yeah, I think your girl's gonna start doing them, but I do have another guitar. I just got a new guitar, guys, this month, so I'm gonna be doing Rocksmith too. Max, I'm gonna be joining you doing some Rocksmith too, and I got a bass. So, Angela, when are you gonna do your streams, girl? I want to see you on that bass streaming too. So, if you guys want to get your peeps in here, tweet it out, host. That helps, cause it's MrGregles, guys. Come on, it's gonna be.
We're gonna have a lot of questions for him because he has a lot of things I need to know. And he's very tech savvy. So us Twitch drummers could learn a lot from this guy, and I think if you see any Twitch drummers that are not here that are also not streaming, post it on their Discord saying, hey, look, Yen's live. And she's with we're with MrGregles tonight, and we're gonna learn a lot, so don't miss out. Get your notebooks. Not just about his drumming and Twitch, but like also him as a person as well. So
yeah, that's going to be amazing. So what are you looking forward to now that you're a New Yorker?
Oh, just a lot of connections and just bringing out some more content and doing a lot of stuff with you, having a lot of things together. And before it was mainly just me and doing solo streams for drumming when she's not around, and then now I can have her dance behind me again, on a regular basis.
Or in front,
Or in front. We have 2 green screens we're running now, so
yeah.
We're gonna have some space for her to do like flips and stuff if she wants.
Yes, Debbie! Hey, Debbie! Is Matt with you? Is Mr. Scurfield with you? Because we are here now together! Yes, we're in the same room. We're not, he's not in Jersey and I'm in New York City. Now we're both in New York City. And he also joined a new band, if you guys don't know.
Oh, yeah. Hotel Security.
Hotel Security.
That's the official band name.
I don't know. I don't know if it sticks. If you guys think of names, I think it might be a suggestion. I don't know.
No, they're not changing it. It's Hotel Security. We're going to have name badges. You guys can buy name badges if you want from us. And yeah, we have 2 songs out on SoundCloud that you guys can check out. I don't have a link for it right now, but we'll get that running soon. But you can just search Hotel Security on SoundCloud. You can hear the 2 songs, Get Mental and Someone. The drums are tracked by me. And
it's really cool.
It sounds great.
I really like their sound. It sounds kind of like Muse and Radiohead mixed with progressive rock. So it has like a lot of different elements that I think.
What happens if you play at a hotel? Well, we're off the clock, so we're not we're not stopping anybody while we're playing music.
Hotel security, a hotel in space, right?
Hotel in space, yeah.
It's very spacey too. I like the flavoring of the band,
yeah.
And I love all the guys. So I'm so happy because you know Debbie how it is. I actually like every single one of them. They're really nice guys. So I'm super pumped. I'll be documenting and doing a bunch of other things. When they're, I'll be streaming and stuff like that. And they're going to be on the podcast eventually. We're trying to get them on Twitch and, do more things on Twitch.
We're close. So it's not like they have to travel far to come and be on the podcast. So.
Yeah. Everyone's a Manhattanite and everyone's, going to be around. So you'll see them hang out and come on here and there. Yeah. So guys, are you hyped for our next guest? Because
I'm hyped.
I'm super hyped. I thought it was a joke he was playing on me because I've gotten a lot of amazing drummers. I think we're at 33 drummers now on the podcast.
I lost count.
I lost count because you guys, your girl loves them drummers. Okay, you guys, the heartbeat of the song, and yeah, I love drummers. I love having you guys because it's, and everyone has its own little flavor, and technique and style and kits. So we're going to learn more about this drummer. That's a Twitch drummer. He's also sponsored by Elgato, and he's going to teach us all about how he has this setup with, I think, over 20 plus cameras.
Probably more. I think that's just his monitors alone. Maybe the cameras are doubled.
Drummer obsessed. Yes, honey. So yeah, I can't wait. So are we getting hyped?
I think he's ready.
I think he's ready. And I really want to get him out here so we can just get to know what makes MrGregles the amazing person, drummer, streamer, Twitch partner that he is, and how he got there. So we're gonna learn more about his story. So, guys, hype it up. This is a big one. MrGregles, are you ready for me?
I think so.
So let's do it.
Let's
Welcome
do
in,
it,
Mr.
MrGregles.
On YenYorkCity Live.
Let's hope this goes well. Something just broke. I had to fix it like real quick. You've got to be kidding me. My music hates me. We just don't get...
Do over. What happened? It's okay.
Nothing happened.
It's only live.
It's only live. What? Take two!
Take two, yes!
This is my life, just tech issues, which I'm sure we'll talk about loads. Are you guys hearing that?
Yeah, we're hearing that.
I hear it. What's going on?
You guys hearing that?
Yeah.
Yes,
It's just typical, isn't it? Supposed to have a technical setup, and it just falls. I think I know what it is.
What is it?
Oh,
we'll learn while we're doing stuff.
Also, it's weird because on Discord, the video on Discord is stuttering, right? But then the capture is perfectly fine when we're capturing your video. I don't know what that's all about.
I just, oh.
Well, we see Greggles.
Shall I play a short song? I know what it is. 1 second.
Okay.
No worries. We're still here in chat, guys.
Well, look at that setup, though. Look,
and he put the hearts. He put all my emotes.
Yeah, he was asking for it. He was like, "Do you have a logo I can put and put in the background?" I'm like, "Well, we don't have like an official logo, but we've been using a lot of the flaming heart, apple heart, and he just put that up there." He's like, "Okay."
The apple heart notes. Yes, the heart of the city. My YenYorkCity heart emote.
There's legitimately so much going on in this room. It's hard to keep track of at times.
It's all good. It's all part of the process of being live.
Would you like me to play another song, or would you just like to chat? It's up to you.
Let's do the song.
Do the song. Do you want?
Yes,
shall we do a different song?
Yes, let's
You've
do
heard
it.
the intro to that one like 6 times.
That's
do you want the same song?
Yes.
Or do you want?
Whichever one you want, honey. It's up to you. We're just happy to have you here, and it's awesome.
We're vibing with you.
Hiccups and all, it's beautiful because you're here with us.
Right. Okay. Here we go. There's hopefully that doesn't happen again. So now I have to show off to compensate.
Oh, Gloria, I feel so much better. I feel so much better today. And it's not the drugs and it's not the weather. I just feel so much better today. I've been asleep in the driver's seat. I've been lost in my head for weeks, trying to find what it is I need. Too goddamn tired to sleep. And then there are other times I'm so aware that I lose my mind and never feel like I get enough. So high that I can't stand up. Can't stay warm. The only secret to make it through is to take what's in front of you. The fear of death and the thrill of speed, and all the lights in front of me. Drive till the coast is clear, faster till it disappears. jealousy. I've been lost in my head for weeks, trying to find what it is I need. Too goddamn tired to sleep.
Hey, I played the song the whole way through.
Nice.
How did that sound?
It was
okay?
really
was
nice.
amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Because, it's MrGregles! Guys, hype it up in chat. We got MrGregles here tonight. Wow, so you know all about the whole live podcast because you actually have a podcast yourself with two other drummers. So it's always something with like the technical things, the little things that just happen sporadically, and then you just gotta work through it.
Yeah.
I mean, I must have had a tech issue on my stream, every stream, for at least the last 3 years. Something minor, at least. There's been something small.
And it's so small that with the vast amount of things that you have, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. It's like, okay, well,
really
this isn't it, and then this isn't it.
Yeah, because there's so much more, and MrGregles has a lot more than an average, regular streamer with just one or two, a few cameras here and there. He has an array of them. An array.
I'm a little bit obsessed, you could say, with the cameras. Just a tiny amount.
I feel you. I need more cameras.
Yeah, right. More cameras, more. He's all about lights too.
Yeah.
He loves lights.
All about the lights.
I've been really getting into lighting with my friend Rick. We've been working on some really cool stuff to do with, stage lighting and being able to dynamically, control the stage lights while I'm drumming. So I get you on that one, most definitely.
So how long have you been doing this, Greggles? When did you start with Twitch and developing your drumming on Twitch?
So I started on the 2nd of May 2017. So I've been going 4 years.
4 years.
Which is 4 years, obviously, on the 2nd of May. So it's been
your anniversary.
quite scary. Yeah. I didn't actually celebrate the anniversary.
No?
I kind of didn't have time. So I need to do that at some point. But yeah, 4 years. It's flown by, but also it hasn't. If that makes sense.
Oh, we're getting a raid.
Chiopon! Oh my god, Chiopon! We were just talking about you with MrGregles before the show. Guys, it's hype. My girl Chiopon coming in with that raid. And I love Chiopon. MrGregles introduced you to Chiopon. I'm telling you, she's the next big thing on Twitch. She's something else.
I need to go. I will actually go follow right now.
Yes.
She's from Japan and she's very in tune with like jazz fusion playing.
Incredible.
I'm gonna watch and be like, I need to get better at drumming. That's what's gonna
Putting
happen.
us all to shame.
A lot of drummers tuned into to her podcast when we came, and I had her on, and they were like, "That's it, I quit." Because you just have to watch her and see her technique and how amazing she is. And yeah, so we were just talking about you before the broadcast because when I see somebody with the skills, and especially a lot of drummers that have been on the podcast, and I see that they're starting off, and then you really, really want people to see them, and you get really hyped up for them. And so when you first started, what was it that you really focused on to get where you are now, to get more views or to get more I guess recognition or get more people to watch you, to see what you're doing? Because in the beginning when you started, they didn't have the music feature, right? They didn't have the discoverability now.
It was quite weird. One sec. I'm just gonna run through. I'm gonna move through to the other room so I can talk.
Okay.
Because this chair gets uncomfortable after a second.
Yeah.
1 second.
No problem.
Llama!
Thank you for coming in, honey.
Make Money Eric gifting a sub to OG. And Make Money Eric gifting a sub to, was that Matt Scurfield?
Thank you so much, Making Money. You're the man.
There we go. Now I can
yes.
actually see you guys properly. That's much better. I had you. You were like tiny on my little screen on my ceiling.
You were even tinier.
Yeah, now we can see your handsome face. So how was last year was really crazy too, right? But you ended up streaming more last year than ever, right?
So so with it, to sort of like answer the question you'd had with the exposure growing on Twitch, I really in the beginning I didn't do anything specific. There's like a whole reason I got onto Twitch in the first place, which is quite somber, but Twitch wasn't for me a place that I ever came onto to be like, right, I need to grow. I'm growing a social media platform or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just come out of basically running my own business, which had collapsed due to quite an awful, crappy situation. And at that point, I was just like, I need a release. I need something I can do that's fun, that entertains me, that, I can sort of like socialize with other people doing. And Twitch was there. I actually started gaming on Twitch originally. My mate had come to me and was like, have you heard of Twitch? We're going to play PUBG, this new game that had just come out. Because PUBG back then was like this new thing. And I played with them for a month. And played a bit of DayZ. No one watched. Like, there was no one there. No one in the chat. 0 viewers. We've all been there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this isn't for me. To my mate, I was like, I'm not very good at gaming. FPS shooters aren't my thing. I'm like an RTS guy. I played Age of Empires and stuff like that growing up. So he was like, well, why don't you drum? I was like, nah, no one's going to watch that. I haven't drummed in years, because I'd had like 2 years, like not properly actually focusing on my drumming. And oh my God. Yeah, I remember my mate turning around to me and going, well, have you met 8-Bit Drummer? I was like, what? And they showed me Jared's stream.
8-Bit?
Yeah, one of the OGs, and I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. He's just playing and people are having a great time. So I hooked up mono audio from my Roland kit, because it turns out one of the channels in my mixer had broken, and a single 720p 30 FPS webcam, and just went for it. So, and like I say, it was more, I came onto Twitch to do something to get me away from the quite negative place I was in, and it provided that. People were lovely, and there wasn't a music community. Well, there wasn't a music channel at the time. There was a music community, and the music community in general just were phenomenal. They're absolutely fabulous. So being able to, do something and talk with like-minded people and enjoy myself pulled me out of that rut. So yeah, I didn't focus on anything in the way of, the hydrate. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I need to hydrate.
Thank you for the hydration.
Hydration.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Non-alcoholic.
Oh, okay.
I took enough water for both of you guys a day, probably.
Oh, I drink so much.
Yeah, I drink a lot of water.
Water-wise. But yeah, I came onto Twitch to enjoy it from the standpoint of, I just want to drum somewhere, really. And I never expected it to take off. Yeah, I never in my wildest dreams believed it would be my full-time job. Like, that still...
Wow.
Like, blows me away.
At what point was it that you decided to make it full-time?
Like, go full-on?
So I, January 2019, yeah. I had all of my savings stolen out my account.
Stolen?
And yeah, I basically I only had about $2,000 due to the fact of my business collapsing and closing that off and then working at a supermarket. And I had 1,900 quid of it stolen.
Wow.
And I was like, what the heck? And I was like, right, that's it. Got to find a better job and things. And my parents went, well, don't worry about that now. Just go and drum. Go and do something you enjoy. So I jumped on Twitch, and people were coming in and being like, what's up? I was like, I'm just drumming. And then eventually they were like, look, Greg, we're worried about you. What's up? I was like, well, this has happened. And everyone donated like $1,500, which allowed me to quite literally keep my house, that I was renting and things.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I started realizing, I had before, I had a wonderful community and everything. I started realizing like how much people actually wanted me on Twitch,
Yeah.
which was a really quite hard thing to be. I've never had that much self-esteem and belief in what what I do, etc. But that sort of like opened my eyes. And then a month later, I'm randomly streaming, just a normal stream, and a French streamer called MrMV was watching me, little beknownst to me, whilst he was waiting to be revived in a Minecraft tournament with 17,000 people watching him.
Wow.
And he liked my setup and the cameras and everything, and he just went, go follow this guy. And in 10 minutes, I got 10,000 followers.
That's incredible.
Like, it launched my stream. I went from an average of about 80 people to 500 overnight. It was ridiculous.
That's beautiful.
And people stuck around. Obviously, usually with raids, people come in, there's a big hype and everything, and,
it trickles out.
good couple of people come back next time, but it's not the same. The next day I went live, 5,000 people, and it was like, what?
Wow.
So that happened. I ended up getting partner because of that. That's an interesting story. I'd applied 7 times. On the 7th time, they denied me. I then tweeted like, what the heck? I've got 500 people watching me. And then they
Like, what do I have to do?
Yeah. So that was quite amazing. And then, like say, I turned around to myself basically one night after another really big stream. I'd been going, just under a month after the raid with all of these people there. I was at like 1,000 plus subs. People were watching, people were staying, more people were raiding. And I thought, if I don't do it now, I won't have another chance like this, to actually make it my job, to really put everything into it, to not just maintain people viewing, but push my content. And posture check. I have a lumbar support pillow.
Oh,
aren't
nice.
you lucky?
See? Smart. See?
But yeah, I walked into, the local supermarket that I was walking at. Well, I was walking at. I actually did all the internet shopping, so I walked around the shop and picked everything for people. And I said to my boss, and I was like, look, I would like to quit. Obviously, I've got to hand in my month's notice. And she went, well, we're actually looking to cut down to the department. You're one of our best pickers, but if you're wanting to leave, we can let you go, like today. You'll get paid the rest of the month, but we can let you go so we can get like the department cut down and we hit our target figures and things. And I just went, let's do it. She was like, well, you work this one shift and that's it. You're done. And I walked out that day and I was like, after being in that job, and everyone there was lovely, but it was a depressing, soul-destroying job, but I'd just gone into it wanting a 9-to-5 at the time, but not 9-to-5, but just something I knew after the business that I could go to work, make some money and go home. And yeah, walked out, I was like, wow, that's it. And I just threw myself like into it, and being like, right, I'll stream as much as I can, improve the stream, try and push into the ways I wanted with tech. And improving myself as a drummer. Started to heavily invest in practice time where I hadn't been able to before, and yeah, it just went from there.
Nice. That's incredible. Making that jump and being able to do what you love to do,
And taking a leap of faith too, and just like really getting yourself in there and just saying, okay, this is what I'm gonna do now. My life is gonna change. And then that dramatic, like,
you were getting all the signs too, like
Yeah.
with the raids and the people sticking around and wanting to have you there and be there for you.
it
And
was
stuff.
the universe.
It's like, we need you here, Greggles. This is your home.
Yeah, it
I've
was meant
always
to
been, yeah, definitely. Like I always maintain that joining Twitch was one of like the top 3 things I've ever done in my life. I mean, I've always been quite a risk taker with things. In the sense of calculated risk, not just throw, I don't walk into a casino and be like, everything on red, but I just try and observe if there's an opportunity and take it, which can be sometimes really hard to realize, but is really enjoyable when you get it right, so to speak. But yeah, it was surreal going live on Twitch the next day, being like, this is my job. What do I do?
Gotta love working from home.
It's great, and you got to make sure you have proper separation, otherwise it gets really hard very quickly.
Yeah.
You end up working constantly. Not that I do that all the time anyway, but I don't think I've had a break properly in 4 years. But I love it, so it's worth it. Yeah. Nice.
That's a hell of a journey for sure, especially like, you know, coming from where you're saying that you came from.
Wait, but speaking of the journey, I want to know the very beginning. When was it that you started playing drums in the first place? Like what age?
Why did you play drums?
Yeah, why did you pick up the drums?
Why drums?
And not guitar, not, you know, the triangle, you know, you really went full on and was like, I'm going to do this. When did you start falling in love with playing the drums?
Well, I started at 15.
Ooh.
Which is quite late, really. I'd actually played the cornet and the piano beforehand. So I started the cornet when I was 8, and then when I couldn't get the hang of that because I couldn't read music. I am highly dyslexic, like ridiculously dyslexic. I find it hard to read. I can't spell, and I actually need to wear green glasses to read properly. They have no focal length. I have perfect 20/20 vision, but basically my brain absorbs too much light through my eyes, and it just goes bleh. So trying to read notated music, especially having sort of like treble clef and bass clef all at the same time, was just ridiculously hard. So I dropped cornet and I was like, oh, I'll try piano, maybe that will make it better. No, it didn't. I can physically play the piano, but I have to sit there and write the notes above things if I want to actually learn it. So it put me off very fast. I couldn't play it. I couldn't learn very well. And then one day I'm walking through, because our school was a music specialist school, and we had loads of soundproof rooms. They were really not soundproof, but we walked past these several guys just in a room jamming on a drum kit, and I pressed my face up against the window and watched this guy blazing around the kit and playing everything. I was like, what? Drums? Because until then, and this is a really weird thing for, you know, musicians, but I went, drums are a thing? Like, I'd listened to music for so many years, but and, you know, obviously I'd seen drummers, I knew what a drummer was doing, but I hadn't really observed a drummer being like, whoa, that's what's going on. I hadn't understood even slightly what drumming was about. And I remember going home and being like to my mum, I want to learn drums. Oh my God, please, I want to learn drums. And my parents just immediately went, oh, yeah, you know, just worst nightmare.
Like, why not something else? Drums?
Yeah, well, they were like, look, you know, you've done the cornet, you've done the piano, you didn't get on with either of those. Why is drums going to be any different? I was like, just, if I don't take to drums, I won't ask you for any other music lessons from anything ever again.
Please.
And they were like, okay.
Start batting your
Dad
eyes.
found, yeah. Dad found that you could have electronic drum kits, because obviously they were worried. They're like, right, we're going to have to cover a shed in egg shells or whatever, and egg boxes, which never works. But yeah. Dad found Roland and was like, right, we can actually get an electronic kit that isn't going to wake up everyone. So yeah, let's get him drum lessons. So I had my first drum lesson, and the reason why I got hooked on it was I have Tourette's, and my Tourette's used to be very, 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 very bad. And I mean, we wouldn't be talking like this at all due to it. I mean, I'd be shouting and screeching and twitching and everything like that constantly. I used to have upwards of like 8,000 ticks a day, which, you know, it was exhausting and horrible. And I sat down on the drum kit, I was shown how to play a basic beat and hold the sticks, and my Tourette's just disappeared. gone. Like,
Wow.
just being on the drums stopped it. And I cried my eyes out. And my teacher did not know what to do. He was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm okay. This is really good. So, I just started playing drums constantly. Every break at school, I was in the music departments. Every time I was tapping on things, because every time I was drumming, my Tourette's was stopping.
Wow.
So I just drummed.
That's amazing.
constantly.
That's extraordinary how the mind works and how it functions, and then you pick up an instrument and it just changes your life in so many ways, more than just musically.
Oh
That's
god,
incredible.
yeah, it's phenomenal. I just started practicing, and I found that drumming, stopping my Tourette's, was a lot more powerful than I believed it was originally, which was the reason I can talk to you now and not have loads of tics, even though I'm still having them, is because when I imagined drumming, really sort of like concentrated, it would have the same effects as if I was playing drums. You know, you hear about gymnasts imagining a trick if they can't get it, and their brain works out how to do it, and the next time they can pull it off. So I was like, oh, let's take inspiration from this. Can I multitask and play drums in the back of my mind to negate the effects of the Tourette's? And it took me a very long time to perfect this, but that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just imagining. Yeah, you know, I'm basically in the back of my head just playing Smells Like Teen Spirit on repeat. But it means that the Tourette's goes away. So that's what inspired me, was, you know, the relief from the Tourette's and the fact that I could play an instrument and I could sit down and I could play music with people. You know, Back in Black is technically one of the most basic beats you'll ever learn, obviously without feel and things like that. But I could just sit down with a guy at school and play Back in Black, him on guitar and me on drums, so I could actually make music, which is something I'd never been able to do with piano or cornet. You know, I couldn't just improvise. I couldn't just sit down and make music. And I think that's one of the main things that inspired me, was the fact that I had that ability to just jam with people.
That's awesome.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
So this was in junior high school, was it? Or
Yeah.
was...
Yeah, high school for you guys.
High
We call
school.
it secondary school.
Oh, okay. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, we're weird over here.
Well, I mean, you guys are
No.
actually more normal than us. We're
the weirdos.
we like to
come
make
on.
things bigger when everything else is actually microscopic. So.
Yeah, we're just weird. We drink too much tea.
Tea's
I
good
don't
though.
drink tea. Everyone drinks tea.
You don't
See,
think
I drink.
you like coffee? Or that I don't
I like cold coffee.
cold coffee.
Like
Oh, you're
cold
not into
lattes
cold
and things.
coffee.
I can't do cold coffee.
In the
yeah.
summer though, it's really refreshing.
I can't. I don't know what. I think
Like
it might
an
be the
ac-
taste.
An iced latte,
Yeah.
really nice. I love that.
Not for me.
Yeah, he doesn't do cold brews or anything like that. I love coffee, so coffee's life. But tea in the nighttime is me.
Tea is
I
great, isn't it?
I like coffee in the morning and tea, I guess, in the midday. That's more of your tradition, to have it in the midday, like tea time, or like in Sweden it's
English
fika, right?
Everyone in England has tea constantly. I have a friend who can't go more than 2 hours without a cup of tea.
Wow. It's good
He
for the
actually gets
digestion
headaches. It's a
system.
serious problem for him. But no, we have like breakfast teas, dinner teas, lunch teas, teas for relaxing, teas for waking you up. Tea, just
That's true.
it's insane. The English like tea.
Tea in the morning though, out, and tea in the evening.
Tea
Yeah.
is generally healthier than
And coffee.
coffee.
Yeah.
But then again, caffeine. The caffeine's a lot less than tea, I think, too, right?
Yeah, there's caffeine in
Yeah.
tea also.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
But so what are you drinking right now? Tell us, what is it that you're drinking? Is that a beer? What's your beer of choice, I should say? I should ask.
Non-alcoholic.
So I'm actually trying this for the first time. So I have this issue which that sounds really
I
bad.
have an
saying,
issue.
I have this issue after talking about alcohol. No, one of the side effects of my Tourette's is my metabolism is quite fast. And because of that, I can drink quite a lot.
Oh,
But
what
the
a
problem with that
problem.
Yeah, right? That's an issue.
No, but
Lucky.
I'm an expensive night out, you know.
Oh.
But,
Now we know when you
the
come and visit.
problem-
Be like, bring a
Stock
bag
up,
of
you know.
Yeah.
money.
But the problem with that is just drinking normally to not feel any effects or anything. I can just drink alcohol as if you drink water and it not affect me.
Oh, no.
And obviously that can be quite dangerous
Yes.
and bad for you. So for me, I'm really trying to watch my health and lose a bit of weight and various things like that. So yeah, I've gone to the non-alcoholic beers. I'm trying this one for the first time. It's called Shipyard American Low Tide. So I think that's quite appropriate.
That,
you know?
Yeah, that's amazing. Is it
It's from Portland, Maine, USA.
Portland, Maine? Well, speaking of Maine.
Maine! Rotten Brick, which is from Maine, just gifted 5 subs.
My
And-
buddy.
And
what are the odds?
And what are the odds? He also gifted a sub to your lady. That's one. Her birthday just
Nas.
passed.
Nas,
last
yeah.
week. Yeah, Nas love.
Yeah,
Thank you
we
so
just had a
much.
birthday.
Happy belated birthday to her.
Yes, if she's there, tell us that we send our love all the way from New York City.
What was your plans that you did for that day?
So that day we'd gone back to her parents. We'd seen her parents for like a barbecue and things, and then on her birthday we basically just relaxed. We went out for the first time and had a meal out since like the start of Corona and everything.
Oh, okay.
Sat outside and had a really fancy pie, and that was that. Bought a couple of things and then came back home and played some games and watched some movies. Like that was it. However, I did surprise her. We went to a wildlife park on last Thursday.
Oh,
which
that's
she really
nice.
enjoyed.
Nice.
Where you get to go and walk in with animals. So there's wallabies, penguins, alpacas,
Penguins.
lemurs, and they're like, you know, you can
Alpacas.
just go up. You can go up and say hi and stroke them and everything like that. And
Oh my
have a
god, that would
lemur
be
sat on
like
your
my
head.
paradise.
Are alpacas
was-
the one with the fancy hairdos?
They're super cute. They look like llamas, but they're like, they smile, right?
And they're big and
Oh,
fluffy.
God.
What?
Remix!
Remix!
Okay.
What beer is from Maine?
I think it was it's Shipyard, or I think he said it was Shipyard. MJC, thank you for the sub.
Thank you, MJC, Chris.
Make money, Eric, for 100 bits.
Thank you, Eric.
Make money, Eric, gifting a sub to Sun and Llama.
Aw,
You guys are amazing.
our dude making money. And I saw he also he was buying merch. He bought Greer's shirt and
Yeah.
Scorpions. Yeah, making money is that dude. Big supporter in the community.
My audio PC decided to restart. Oh no.
Oh, it's okay. We're here. We're here. This is live, guys. This is real life. This is how it is. And yeah, but
Part of the
hey,
process.
we have Mr. freaking Gregles on the YenYorkCity Podcast. So to me, that's just it. You know, I mean, I feel just got to restart. No problem. We are here. We are here. So yeah. So guys, Mr. Gregles, he's gonna be telling us more about his camera setup. Also, I saw his last stream and he even said he was gonna get like a halo on top of his stream, so he's gonna have like an above view of what you see, like you know how
Oh,
you
it's
have
like a train or something going around with a camera.
like the Matrix. If you've seen the Matrix, it's basically like when you see the camera work going in the whole like,
Oh, so he's gonna have a 360 bullet time. That's what he's doing.
and he's doing it above like a halo.
Oh, that's gonna be crazy.
So what you see like in the front is what I think he's gonna try to achieve from the angle looking down.
That's gonna be nuts.
That's incredible. Imagine, jeez. Max.
Max, make money. Eric gifted a sub to Mr. Greggles.
Oh, thank you so much, Making Money. He's the man. Yeah, and guys, Max A Drums from Sweden. He's a drummer. If you guys don't know, he's also a Twitch partner. He's
Next
amazing. We gotta talk, right? I know it's gonna be soon. We're gonna be he's gonna be taking over the YenYorkCity channel, and he's gonna be showing us beautiful Sweden edition of Takeover. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait to see. That's sick. Yes, I know. I'm gonna be. Hey, Ruddy, maybe you can show us Maine one day if you want. You know, so I'm trying to get people from different parts of the world to stream.
Look at this beautiful kit.
Look at this.
Look at this.
Amazingness.
Just look at it. Just look at it.
Just stare.
Just look at it.
Fall in love with the whole setup because it's really something else. It's next level in Twitch streaming. And streaming
it's such a beautiful drum set.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that view.
Look at all those cameras. Oh,
It's like every angle is the perfect angle.
It's like, yeah, he's like, you want to see this angle? I got you. Boom, 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 all around.
Did you catch his development of this room, like from start to finish, when they were building it and painting it and running all the wires? It was crazy.
Yeah, and he also does TikToks with like little fun clips and how-tos and things like that. So I know it's going to be coming up in the chat. So if you're not following any of those channels, he has fun TikToks. If you guys are on TikTok, make sure to follow him on TikTok because those are fun. Those are really fun.
This is like the equivalent of my big acoustic kit, but electronic.
Electronic style. Just look at those lovely drums.
That's my goals right there.
Yeah, I mean, MrGregles is goals.
He's goals. Straight goals.
Straight up goals right there. So how are you guys doing in chat? Let's see who's in chat. Commanding Drums! Oh my god, honey. Thank you for coming in. You know what we... Okay.
I'm back.
He's back!
Yes! Okay. He's back. Let's go.
Sorry about that. I Windows was like, you know what? I'm gonna do an update.
Oh, it's no day.
Oh,
Fun.
we're only in Mercury retrograde shadow. Okay. So.
Sorry about that.
You gotta love the timing on these dumb updates, and sometimes it doesn't give you like sometimes it'll warn you, right? Say, do you want to do this update? And you can say wait till tomorrow, or like push it for another couple of hours.
Does it anyway.
And it doesn't.
Well, what's the funniest thing that ever happened live that you're just like, yeah, that happened and it was like memorable?
What, tech-wise or just in general?
I guess
both.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Tech-wise, I had in my old setup when I was running just 2 PCs. I was talking about how I'd rigged up this really cool effect and I was going to show everyone, and you know, it was basically my overlay moving for the first time and doing all of that fancy stuff. And I remember hyping it up to everyone. I was like, right, we're going to do it. We're going to get. I pressed a button and both PCs shut down. It just ended the stream. And the problem was the thumbnail was stuck with me something like this. Before Twitch had that disconnect.
We're back. Speaking of, I was trying to do a sound effect. We are doing stuff like the first time here with him, and we had to set up everything all over again. So we know the struggles.
We're still trying to figure things out.
So this is like the first time. So if something happens while we're live, I'm not trying to jinx it or anything, but just know it's because the whole setup is what Luna had in his bedroom, okay, is all here. And his electronic kit is behind the green screen. Oh, I can't wait to show you what we're gonna do. It's gonna be awesome. But anyways, it's not about us. It's about this beautiful man, MrGregles.
Oh, tell us.
We need to know.
I'm not important.
I'll tell you after the podcast.
Yes. But
you get exclusives.
Okay.
We want to know. How long did it take to get the setup that you have? Because you've been streaming for 4 years. But what was the first kit you streamed with?
So my first kit I streamed with was my TD30. So I bought that as sort of, I'd saved up for years for it. I'd been obsessed with it. I'd wanted the TD20K X or whatever they had beforehand. And then they brought out the TD30. I was like, oh my God, need this. And my business was going well, so I treated myself to it. And obviously, when I started streaming, it was perfect for it. Multiple outputs, and I had quite a sizable kit because I'd had a TD9. So my first drum kit ever was a TD9. And then the one I streamed with was the TD30. But I used the TD9 and the TD30 modules together using the MIDI link so I could have more cymbals, basically. And add in all my pads. So yeah, and then I added the TD50. And now I've got the VAD kit, so I'm technically running 4 modules. So I have the TD50, the TD9, the TD27, and the TD30.
And all of those are run MIDI, or are you actually using internal sounds for all of them?
Using all the internal sounds. So the TD50 has just had an update with the release of the new digital hi-hat. And the samples, I've yet to update it, but the samples on there are phenomenal. But the ones on the TD50 in general, I've always really enjoyed and thought were great. So, yeah, I've always just stayed using those, to be honest.
Nice. I'm still trying to learn the module, like the models, like the names, and also like the internals of the modules.
Oh, it's so confusing.
Yeah.
They have so many, it's ridiculous.
Like, I don't even, like, the symbols ridiculous. Are like CY something, like, numbers everywhere.
Symbols are CY, hi-hats are VH.
VH.
Oh, wow.
Then you have PD for other things. Sorry, I'm just having to restart something that my audio PC shutting down messed up. I need to turn that off. Every time I do that on stream, people freak out. They're like, Windows noises!
Or I think it's my PC doing something. It's usually like that when I hear that too.
Well, and then like knowing Gregles has like 100 different things going on at once with his with his setup. When a random noise happens, it is panic mode.
Yeah, but did we speaking of,
Sorry.
I don't think we even got to what was the funniest moment that you had on stream.
Oh yeah. What you said, the overlays.
That was the
we did talk about it.
Yeah.
It's just that something happened and then we forgot. Okay. Yeah, right.
The funniest moment in general.
Yeah.
I think. Oh boy. I think has to be the first time I heard a goat remix. Someone requested a goat remix song. And
I love goats.
It was something like Bohemian Rhapsody, but goat version. And I didn't read the title. I couldn't see what song was coming. So I'm like, oh, it's just a young... And then suddenly, goat screaming, and it broke me.
Yeah.
Like, I just collapsed
I'm
laughing
hearing
on
it in
stream.
my head.
And since then, people started trolling me constantly with disguised videos so they could put
goats.
Goat remixes, and they break me every time.
Oh,
I'm not
man.
expecting them. I just cry laughing. The first one was very special.
I was like Pants Feet when I heard that for the first time.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Take me higher.
Yeah, Creed comes in out of nowhere. At
That
the
was
end.
the part for me. That was the part for me that I was like, no, they did not.
I don't know how I can keep playing through this right now.
Yeah.
I like
some good
Basket Flies.
Basket Flies?
Yeah, by
haven't heard
DJ
that.
Cumberbund. The same guy who does Pants Feet.
Yeah. He has a lot of good ones.
You've got to listen to Basket Flies. It's Basket Case, Fireflies, and Gangster's Paradise all together.
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
a work of genius.
Yeah, his mixes are amazing.
Yeah, he makes me smile too.
He just... You listen to them and you're like, is this how the song should have been? I feel lied to by the original.
Yeah. Like how? Who really came up with this? And it works.
So going back to your kit.
Oh, yes.
Did you get the new hi-hats?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
I do have them being sent to me.
Oh, nice.
So
and you're also sponsored by Roland?
Yes. Yes.
Sweet.
Have been
Wow.
for 2 years now, which is kind of scary, actually. The fun story about that. I've been wanting to be sponsored by Roland since like a year after starting drumming. So I'd gone to see a clinic, my local music store for the TD9, and it was Craig Blundell, who's since become my drum teacher. And he was demoing the TD9, and I just remember just seeing what he did with it and being like, this isn't real. Like, this is obscene. How are you doing these things? And he was like, well, you know, I work with Roland and I get to go and demo their kits and things. And for years I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to play Roland kits, and I want to be sponsored by them, and I want to go around and show people how awesome they are. And then I learned what session drummers were, and I was like, I want to be a session drummer, but sponsored by Roland. And I got to go on the BBC and play and do a big show for Tourette's documentary, and I made sure that I had a Roland kit for that. I was like, notice me, senpai, you know, Roland. And for years and years and years, it was like my dream, not just sponsorship, but because of the whole connection with like the Tourettes and having a Roland kit since I began drumming, and the connection to that, being able to play a Roland drum kit and experience all the sounds they had on the module allowed me to play and learn faster. So I was like, this is just insane. I want more of this. And so yeah, being able to actually be sponsored by them is pretty much a dream come true, because I just like what they like produce. Their tech is incredible. It just inspires me more than, you know, not from a standpoint of I want a free drum kit, just everything I can do with it makes me happy. So yeah, when I actually got the Roland sponsorship for the first time, obviously first time, but you know, it was very emotional. It was 10,
Wow.
I can only imagine.
And being on BBC. So you were in a documentary about Tourette's, and you actually got to drum and show them and you tell your story?
I've been on 5 documentaries.
Wow.
So I actually, when I was 8, well, my Tourette's developed when I was 5, and I was diagnosed when I was 6. And then when I was 8, the BBC approached my mum and dad, because I have a rare form of Tourette's. They were like, look, we would like to showcase this so other people can learn about it. And I did that documentary when I was 8, and then they did a follow-up one when I was 15, and then the drumming one when I was 18. That was called Tourette's Let Me Entertain You, and some parts of it are actually still on YouTube. And it took that particular one followed 6 people with Tourette's, who all, whenever we played music or we did anything musical, the Tourette's went away. So we would, you know, pursuing that and showing how powerful music is. For anyone with the condition. And then I did another one when I was 22, and then there was various other ones around that. But yeah, I've been on television for Tourette's quite a lot of times now, trying to spread awareness, etc. And I did that for a very long time. Like, I'd go and give lectures in schools about Tourette's and universities and things to educate people. And the idea was that through doing the, you know, I never got paid for the documentaries, never got anything out of them.
Wow,
I
really?
did it.
No?
Oh, no. The whole point of it was to educate people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so myself and others with Tourette's could walk down the street and not be stared at, really. So yeah, I did that. I did that for years. It's good, you know. I felt I've really changed the world in the sense of more people know about Tourette's because of me personally. You know, I'm the second documentary I was in from the BBC has been seen over 2 billion times by people around the world.
That's
which
extraordinary.
is just phenomenal. But it's because of that, you know, when I'm walking down the street and I have a tick or a squeak or something, and someone goes, "Why'd you do that?" I go, "I've got Tourette's." And when I was a kid, they'd go, "No, you just badly behaved." But now they go, "Oh, okay," and they get on with their day, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's becoming more of a norm, like understanding of, you know, this is an actual thing, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, now I've sort of tried to, for a very long time, I was definitely, you know, Greg, I was the guy with Tourette's and then Greg. And I've sort of moved away from that now. I've done, you know, over 15 years of education, educating people with Tourette's or about Tourette's. So now it was like, right, I want to do my own thing, and I want to be Greg, not Greg with Tourette's. And now that, you know, there's wonderful people like Sweet Anita out there, who's obviously, she's on Twitch, and she does a lot to educate people and things, and it's nice to have sort of passed the baton to, you know, I can do my own things now, where there's other people carrying on that educational journey for them.
Yeah, since you were 8, and so they followed your journey from 8 to 15 to, you said 18 and 20, so they kept up with how you were doing along the way.
Yeah, they are meant to be doing one every 7 years, so I should be doing one next year when I'm 28. So we'll see. It's quite interesting to actually look back on, to have your life documented like that. But
freaking cool that you can actually look back and see and inspire people along the way.
So you can see what I was like in my first year of drumming on that documentary, and it was not good.
Well,
I look back on it and being like, oh,
it's definitely you know, something to look back on and be like, wow, this is like where I started, and then look at me now, you know, kind of like a reflection, you know.
Oh yeah, it's very eye-opening to look back and be like, wow, I actually have come quite a way with it, you know, with the Tourette's and things. So.
That's awesome. And, you know, I'm glad that you found that, you know, that kind of way of taming that a bit with drumming and music, and that's amazing to hear, you know.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people have that, you know, that opportunity to be able to do something like that, to be able to figure that out. That will help them tame that. So
yeah, I help a lot of people now by teaching them about, not, you know, not everyone plays drums, but a lot of people, when they find that one thing, like I have drumming, some people have art, some people have you know, piano, some people have running, etc. I'm like, look, when you find that one thing that stops the Tourette's, that can really control it for you, then, you know, latch onto it and start to use it. So I've been able to help quite a few people with that experience. It's quite nice.
So did they find an actual scientific term, or why it's something so extraordinary that it helps with the tics, because you're doing a repetitive motion that's music?
It's currently, there's no like defined reason why. It seems to be essentially what Tourette's is a misfire in the brain of serotonin and dopamine. Instead of the serotonin and dopamine jumping from one synapse to the other, and well, jumping between two neurons, which is called a synapse, instead of it hitting the neuron that you want, for example, when you wave your arm and you say, hey, there are neurons in your brain that specifically tell you to do that. Tourette's is, you go, hey, and those, you know, neurons, that dopamine and serotonin they misfire, and they hit the neurons that make me, for me, shout the word chicken, or some people shout the word fuck, or you know, and that's the thing, is it's totally random. A lot of people think Tourette's is what you're thinking, and that really isn't the case. So with that, when you're playing music, dopamine and serotonin levels are increased, and that can reduce the misfires, essentially. Because the brain corrects itself constantly. These sort of things happen to, you know, everyone normally. You know, when you get like someone walking over your grave and you get a shudder down your spine, that is actually, you know, sometimes caused by this same phenomenon of the misfire. But you guys don't get it every single day or every single minute or every single second. So when we're doing music, etc., it reduces that and allows the brain to sort of correct itself. But that's what they theorize currently. Yeah, it's fascinating. You know, unless you were literally able to take apart someone's brain and be like, oh, there's this. You know, it's very hard to, yeah.
And when you're 100 years old.
In my head, thank you.
Yeah, like, but did you ever think about that? Like, when you're 100 years old and, you know, when it's your time, and then would you give your brain to science so they could... I know that's very morbid. I don't know why that just made me think of, but you know how some
put
people
it on your license, the back of the card for like a donor, and be like, I donate my brain.
No, but, didn't Einstein? Was it Einstein? Which genius was the one that they have his brain. Who was
They
it?
have Einstein's brain, yeah.
Einstein's.
Okay, it was
Yeah.
then. Yeah, and then they.
I donate my brain.
Wow.
You know, I'm dead at that point. I'm not using it. So, yeah, might as
For
well bet for someone
science,
else.
literally.
Someone else can
Yeah.
use this knowledge.
As long as they put googly eyes on the brain in the jar, I'm happy. It walk in. What the heck is that? Oh, it's just Greggles.
It's just
you know,
Thanks,
Greggles.
Mr.
Okay.
flowing in
Greggles.
his jar.
No
That's when
waving
you see
hand.
like a bloop. Well, just like a little.
Yeah.
Or
hand on the
chicken eyes.
string.
Wait. So tell us about the chicken thing.
Yeah. What's this chicken emote?
So, Phil, my wonderful little mascot, came from
Aw.
a long-running joke.
Uh-huh.
So, one of the main things that my Tourette's shouts is the word chicken. And it has done since I was about 8. And, oh boy. Essentially, when it started happening, and it kept happening, people latched onto it. So my mum, my friends, everyone would buy me chicken-related things for my birthday, for Christmas.
Aw.
You know, if they went on holiday. So I have chicken slippers, chicken mugs, chicken placemats, chicken t-shirts, chicken pencils.
That's amazing.
I have a slingshot that's a chicken.
A
You know, a chicken
slingshot?
pushy.
Like Bart Simpson.
Are you slinging chickens or are you slinging chicken eggs?
Well, basically, the chicken itself is a slingshot. You like hold its feet and then you go like this, and then you release it. And so
that's funny.
So instead of
every
unicorns,
time-
it's chicken everywhere.
Yep. It just every time anybody went on holiday, they'd always bring me back chickens. And my friend went on holiday to Spain and brought me back Phil. And
Oh,
when I
so
did my
Phil's
very
from
first,
Spain.
yep,
Jesus,
first time I
Spanish
did my
chicken.
stream, he was sat on my server case in the background, just chilling. And someone was like, "What's that chicken?" I was like, "Oh, there's just this chicken that you know my friend brought back." They were like, "Stream mascot," and I was like, "What are we gonna call him?" We settled on Phil because drum Phil. Yeah.
Perfection. That was genius right there.
Yeah, so that's
Phil.
why we have the chicken emote, because that's Phil.
Of course. I mean, what other name would be fitting for chicken?
I did actually play drums with him on my first stream. Like, I tried playing drums with him,
Like
bless him.
banging his head on the actual drum.
Yeah. Yeah, so he became the stream mascot to make up for it. He gets paid, you know, just to sit there, and he gets compensation for the stress.
Do you have
the
a
stress
Phil
I
cam?
caused him. Not yet, but he does sit in my foot cam now.
Okay.
So he just pokes up and says hi.
Oh.
What about the crab?
Oh yeah, the crabby.
So when I had that huge raid from Mr. MV with the 17,000 people, I played Crab Rave, and it just stuck. As
Oh,
people
the
being
Crab
like,
Rave.
that's Greggles' song,
Okay.
that and Brain Power. So
So
I worked it out. In my Twitch career, I have played Brain Power 483 times.
oh my god. So wait, did you have a
Over 40
counter for
years.
that every time you played it? Like you
I did. I said it would stop at 200, and then we just did.
Oh.
The counters locked at 200 because I said the 200th play would be the last one, but it was stuck at 199 for at least another 200 plays.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
And you have the sock emotes too, so your sock game.
So yeah, what's your sock collection looking like?
I currently have over 300 pairs of socks.
Wow.
Okay,
so-
yeah, you beat everyone that I know with the socks. Okay.
People, hey, people just keep
Gifty.
buying me socks. I
Yeah.
am wearing right now.
Let's get him.
Colored.
Shoot.
It's purple.
Sock
Purple
cam.
stripes. Nice.
Awesome.
Oh.
Wow.
So how do you choose your socks on a daily basis with 300 of them to choose from?
Believe it or not, I
Spin
open
wheel?
one of the multiple drawers and just go, that one.
Eeny, meeny, miny, you.
Do a pre-stream spin wheel. Okay, what sock is it going to be today?
Chicken
I've been looking
and
for a
socks.
place for... Yeah, I've been looking for a place for ages that does sock merch, and I finally found one, so I'm going to finally have
Yes.
proper socks
Nice.
for stream, which will be awesome.
A Gregles sock.
Not that I need any more.
I'd buy a Gregles socks.
Bagel socks. Yeah, that's
I think...
with a bunch of little chickens with Phil everywhere and drums, little drums, and then Phil.
Phil playing drums. That's what he
Exactly,
does.
There you go.
exactly. Now we have to find a place for that makes what are those pop figures with his head? Has anybody given you one? A pop figure of Phil? Because
No,
you can
sadly.
make them, I think now, like customized.
Yeah, they like U-Pops or something like that.
Yeah, it's like I've seen people get them as gifts. So guys, who's sleeping on getting MrGregles a Phil bobblehead?
Pop
What are
figure.
these pop figures? Yeah, I'm
Think they-
surprised. I
do you
mean,
think
that's
they'd make a chicken, just a chicken, or does it have to be a person?
no. I think it. I mean, if it has a head, it bops. It's gonna be right.
Are there chicken pops though? I don't think I've seen
It's
a chicken
customized
pop.
though. It's customized. There's a place. Somebody Google that, so we can put.
Yeah, let us know.
Let
if
us
there's
know,
an
'cause I
actual
know.
pop that's a chicken, if that's the case, then we can actually use that.
No, there's like a customized site you can get them made.
That would
So,
be nice. I would like that.
Speaking of custom, well, somewhat custom. So you recently got in touch with, was it Elgato that helped you out with the bullet time, the new upgrade on that?
Yes. So I'd been working with Elgato for just over a year, and they came to me and they were like, Greg, you use a lot of cameras. We're bringing out a new capture card. I was like, oh, is it finally got 4 ports? And they're like, yeah, it's finally got 4 ports.
Yeah. that's
So
beautiful.
they're like, you know, the bullet time you have with the webcams, how many cameras are there? I was like, 20. And they're like, okay, how many inputs would you need? 20. So
Wow.
they were like, well, how hard would it be to, make the bullet time HDMI? And I was like, it would cost a lot of money. They're like, how much is a lot? I was like, 10 grand. And my rep, Tom, who's wonderful, he went, give me an hour. Comes back, he's like, yep, we can do it. And I was
Wow.
like, what do you mean? He was like, tell us what you need, we'll buy it. So they bought me a whole new PC, 20 cameras, all the cables, and provided the 5 capture cards to make it work, which is just obscene.
Your soul
Wow.
is now tied with this company.
Well, like, let's just say when my promo video and things went live, they apparently sold a lot of them. So
Oh yeah, like that's
I
a
think I
that's
paid my shit.
Yeah.
that is definitely one of the best presentations that they can provide for their capture card and how powerful it is to be able to use, under the circumstances of what you're doing. Obviously, it's like, what you're doing is a lot, right, compared to what people can use it for, actually use it for. But like, you can do this,
Yeah, it's... I always try and push the boundaries of streaming with tech, especially because I used to work in film. So a lot of the things in film, people, when you make it, or you do it live, there's quite a big hurdle technologically to overcome. And a lot of people freak out when you do something from film live.
Mhm.
So for me, it was like, well, all of this knowledge that I've accumulated over years and years and years of working in film is just gold for Twitch. Bullet time being one of them. I mean, it was invented in the 1990s when The Matrix came out. Bullet time, the effect was created
Yeah.
for that film. And I was like, well, the golden thing about bullet time is it doesn't require any moving parts. I don't have to have a camera whizzing round me. The only issue is, how do we do it live? And I had obviously tried it with the webcams originally, which worked-ish. It looked okay. It proved the concept, but the HDMI level, I mean, I could, obviously show you. Just it takes it quite literally to the next level.
Yeah.
And looks really smooth.
It's clean.
Amazing, beautiful.
Mhm. And that's
So,
just
yeah.
that's just a piece of what you're planning on doing to make it even bigger, right?
I heard in the last
yeah.
stream he was saying about a halo, right? Like a above angle.
Yeah. So the plan is to have, well, essentially, I'm going to have the 20 webcams which are left over in OBS above me.
Huh.
So they're going to spin constantly. So there's going to be this constant rotating sort of like image. So hopefully it will go fast enough to actually capture everything I'm doing. Because the problem with the webcams is that I could only run them in 15 FPS. But I think I found a way around that. So yeah, I will have at that point 50 cameras, which is just stupid. But
Are those the
I like doing
C920
it because
Pros?
it's fun.
Yeah.
C922s.
22s. Is that what
Yes.
you said has internal chips for
So
processing?
C920. No. C922s are the best for multicam because they have multicam support drivers, whereas the C920 doesn't.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a multicam setup that is, cheap in the sense of compared to HDMI cameras, then the C922 is the way to go.
Yeah, without having
because you
to
can
freeze
run-
up and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That as long as you can run 2 of them to a USB controller.
I'm writing this down.
Write it down.
So there's also a really cool little USB PCIe card that you can grab, and you can run 4 of them off that. So that's how I was doing it previously. I had multiple of these cards, like a quad capture card, essentially, just with USBs.
Yeah. So, what about the Brios? Do you think the Brios are just as strong as the C922s?
The Brios are great, and I've had 2 of them working at the same time off the same PC, but they do not have as good a multicam support. The reason being is they send a lot more data than the C922s to do the 1080p 60, and just the way the drivers are designed by Logitech, let's just say they're not that optimal. So the USB buses that you have, or the controllers, get saturated very fast, meaning that you could probably get 1 Brio and 1 C922 running on a single USB controller before, if you add a third, it's just going to go...
Yep.
It's not his fave. Those are not his fave.
No, I don't like... No.
Yeah. I mean, you can get around it by using various USB extenders or USB cards and things, and you could run 4 Brios off the card that I use, but you still run into problems. Nothing beats HDMI if you can do it, obviously, just because it's a solid input.
Yeah.
But I still use some webcams. I'm going to be using the Brios I have, the 2 Brios, to do sort of like a room cam setup. That's what my job for tomorrow is, along with some filming. So,
More
those
cameras.
Filming. So you said you were in the film industry, or what was it that you said? You did film?
Yeah, I was a visual effects artist.
Ooh.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. So how did you start doing that? And okay, so let's
I trained
rewind.
at university.
So
Well, so when I was 8, I started having art lessons, and I was really interested into traditional drawing and art and painting and clay. And in my local town of Pickering in the UK, there was this wonderful little valley, and 2 artists lived, Brian and Sally Tozer they were called. They lived in their little house, but they had a big art studio, and they had a public footpath that went past it. So we would walk past there all the time. And one day, saw them doing pottery, and Mum was like, "Oh, do you do lessons? Greg would love to learn." And they were like, "Yes." So I started studying with them. And then at the age of 12, after going to them since the age of 8, 4 years, I've been studying pottery and various things. I've been selling my artwork since the age of 10. They put me through a master's degree from the age of 12 till 16. So I got a master's from Goldsmiths University in the UK, like an open university style thing, where you study away from the actual university. And I studied drawing, and mainly ceramics. So I really got into art. And then I was doing my A-levels, and I'd wanted for ages to become an architect because I like designing buildings. But I realized that most architects just design people's extensions or new conservatories and things. So I was like, what can I do that allows me to just fantasize about whatever I want and create? And visual effects was shown to me, build things for film. Massive sci-fi nerd. I was like, wow, I can achieve anything. So I decided to go to university and get a second degree in visual effects. And then I ended up working for a couple of companies in the UK, in London, producing various films. Worked on Paddington, I worked on Thor Ragnarok, and a couple of other smaller indie films and things, but doing lighting. So my job was essentially, when they record something on a green screen, excuse me, you obviously take that footage and then you've got to put a digital background behind it. So what I did was I would take the lighting from the physical set and then translate it into CGI. So we would have realistic backgrounds. And yeah, that was my job for several years. It was really fun.
Incredible.
Yeah,
that
sounds
sounds
and stressful as
super
hell.
fun. Stressful but fun.
Yeah, because they're very detailed with everything. So you have to like make sure you're on like each pinpoint, of every shot.
People will work months for a 10-second clip.
That's what's crazy. It's the visuals and everything.
And nowadays, like people on TikTok are like, screw it, quick video shot and we're good.
Damn it.
Well, that's the thing, is everything with augmented reality and what you see on TikTok and all these filters and stuff was designed and created in the visual effects industry because we needed that technology to create the CGI that you see in films. Face mapping, for example, has been used for years, and the technology in face mapping, it's very much like NASA. They created power drills so they could have those, astronauts could have drills in space. And now they're a household tool, a power drill with a battery, etc. And it's the same sort of idea of the industries with all the money created this tech, and it slowly trickled down and become, as technology's improved, and the power of a PC the size of a room is now something you hold in your hand.
Yeah.
Wow.
The possibilities are insane. And that's one of the really fun things about streaming, is the fact that with the right application of, shall we say, civilian technology or publicly available technology, you can create so much.
Oh, yeah.
Look at music as well. If you wanted to record an album 40 years ago, you had to go to a massive recording studio, you had to have a recording deal, and you had to be lucky as a band. And now you can create stuff off a laptop.
I literally recorded my drums at home and sent it to an engineer to mix.
Yeah, that's
like, I can mix it at home, but obviously the knowledge behind it, but and it sounded great.
Well, yeah, it's fascinating. It's why I built the studio, is to be able to push just the levels of streaming and technology, and what I can achieve with what I have here is just enthralling for me. It's probably the biggest motivator, than trying to get better at drums.
So,
but yeah.
Speaking of drumming, do you want to play a song for us? Another one?
I can do. Hopefully nothing will break this time.
Yes, fingers crossed, legs crossed. Look, I'm doing the ego pose in yoga.
Okay, right. The question is, what song?
Anything you want, honey. It's yours. Whatever, your choice.
The stage is yours.
Yes, streamer's choice. Like I always say, I would, when people do the sub thing, I'm always like, whatever you want, like I like to see my drummers play and enjoy what they're playing. So.
Someone says play tacos.
Oh God. Right. Okay. I'll go and play a song.
Okay. All right, guys.
Hype it up in
MrGregles
chat.
is about to rock out to a song that we are going to be surprised with, because we have no idea what it's gonna be, and it's gonna be amazing because it's MrGregles himself with his crazy setup and his crazy.
He looks like he's in the Matrix of drums.
He is the
I
He
forgot
is
my
the
mouse and
matrix
keyboard.
of drums.
He forgot the mouse and keyboard. Would you believe that?
Because we're live. We're live from New York, but he is in the UK.
I'm one of his regulars. Nice.
Aw, thanks for being here. Experience. So you have experience, the MrGregles experience then. So what's your favorite thing about MrGregles?
Yeah, if you guys are watchers of MrGregles here, let us know what is your favorite highlight or your favorite experience of being on his stream.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm bad at this.
And we're just hyping it up here on chat. It's YenYorkCity Live, and it's live, and that's why you get all the raw footage. And that's what makes live streams fun.
Also, this is also going to be going out on YouTube real soon, and we're going to be posting these out on Anchor and multiple other podcasting platforms soon as well. So be on the lookout for that. And if you're listening to this outside of streaming, please join us live to catch all of this before it gets launched out to the public.
Yes. Without further ado, I think MrGregles is just about ready to play another song for us live here on YenYorkCity Live. Are we ready, MrGregles?
Nearly. I am still trying to decide the song.
The song!
MrGregles is a shining beacon of musical hope during these very trying times. Beautifully said, commanding drums. Very true.
You hear that? You're a shining beacon.
He is. He's a light.
Really?
Yes.
Is it my forehead? Oh, it's too shiny, isn't it?
I like your hair too. I like that. Like that. It's almost like the blonde is giving him that extra shine, but it's like it's a highlight. Yeah.
Oh boy. No, I dyed my hair purple for a charity event, and then all the dye came out, and now it's
blonde.
It's blonde, and we couldn't cut it all
out.
It
works. It looks cute. Hey, darn.
Right. Okay.
Right. We're ready.
I've just got to find the right fader.
We got MrGregles here, Darth.
Okay.
All right.
I was not expecting that.
And that is the
It's a good
MrGregles
song, isn't it?
experience.
Yeah, Porcupine Tree is nuts.
Oh, I love them.
Oh, Gavin Harrison is just
Yeah,
like so insane.
love it.
Is that one of your top drummers, like top 5? Is he on the list?
He's definitely up there, yeah. I'd say top 5, Craig Lundell, Thomas Lang, Benny Greb, Gavin Harrison, Buddy Rich.
You can keep going.
Neil Peart, you know. I think my biggest inspirations have definitely been Craig Blundell, Thomas Lang, and Benny Greb. If you were to put sort of like a triad. And then Jojo Mayer. I learned all of my sort of initial technique from Jojo Mayer and his Secrets for the Modern Drummer DVD,
Nice.
which was fascinating. But
Is that the one that he's like in the city playing drums in different scenes and like he just pops up while people are walking and yeah.
Yeah, and he wearing those leather pants constantly. The bright, like, they looks like something kind of, you know, out of a different type of film. But, you know,
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good. I have that one. That's a good DVD.
The
yeah,
leather
I learned
pants,
a lot from
though. Well, you know, that's his trademark. In a way.
So while you're behind the kit, let's do a tour of the kit and
Yes,
tell us how
please.
everything is
Yeah.
functioning behind there. You got going on.
Okay, so probably best to do it from this view.
Beautiful.
So I'm running. I've got 2 sets of the digital snares and 2 sets of the digital rides.
Goals, yes.
So I'm running this one, my sort of like electronic snare, and this cymbal here, which is actually a ride cymbal, but I've sort of tuned it a bit more to be a crash. These are off the TD-27,
Okay.
and then these are off the TD-50, and obviously the digital ride and snare are phenomenal. Then we've got the VAD toms, these 3 from the VAD 506, which the TD-27 came with, and then I've got 2 other pads from my old TD-30/50. And then over here we've got another. This is the old snare drum from my TD-30 actually, which is my gong drum. So yeah, I'll go around the sounds. Whoops. Gong drum, sort of electronic snare, which I love this thing just because it blends in with so many electronic songs, especially all the DMCA free stuff. Just really short, sustain, and crunchy. And then obviously main snare, going for more of an acoustic tight sort of feel. And then toms. Try to get those
That last
quite
floor
evenly
is
spaced in
just
sounding.
beefy. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And also the pad it's on is actually the new VAD kits have multiple sensors, where this one has the singular and the outside. You can sort of like see the white dot. So it does give it as a floor tom a more punchy feel because you're hitting right on the sensor. Like compared to this, you can hear the attack.
Yeah.
Which I quite like as a lower tom. Just, yeah, it's really nice. And then good old stacker, which is kind of funny actually, because this stacker is actually the stacker sound from the TD-50 and the TD-30 playing at the same time.
You blended it?
Yeah, so I have a splitter on the output. So it literally is a stacked, digital cymbal, which is quite fun. And then just standard sort of like, this is meant to be a 16-inch cymbal. Ride. China. Another sort of stacker, but really quite short. Inspired by Mike Portnoy's stacker that uses, there's a specific kit he used. It's the Hydra. He plays Dance of Eternity on it a lot, which he does there.
The purple one?
That section of the song on it, and it's 2 really small cymbals tightly packed together. So that inspired that, and then main crash, but obviously because it's the ride, you get a bell with it, which is, you know, when I'm doing sort of like more atmospheric things, you can play that. I've got a splash when I hit it, and then just what's meant to be a 12-inch tiny cymbal. So I like to, when I'm playing, so
Solo!
Drum solo!
Redeem drum solo!
would you like a drum solo? I'm really bad at
Yes!
them,
Heck yeah!
now the question is, how long do you want the drum solo? Because, you know, is it go and get a pint at the bar and come back drum solo, or just like a woo?
It's how you feel it should be.
Give it a good give it like you're in the Guitar Center drum solo. You got 3 minutes.
3 minutes!
Oh God! Well, at that point, I need something to go.
Give us your best Mike Portnoy.
Yeah, get the Mike Portnoy Phil. Let's do that.
Oh God! Okay. I'm actually really bad at those.
Nice.
My feet and hands are sort of too fast. I need to stop rushing.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes, honey.
I got to really concentrate to play that. I try and avoid that fill. But yeah.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
The kit sounds amazing too. Like it's really dialed in. Like how much time you spent on your module to get this tone to be where it's at today? Because like that's not easy to achieve for an electronic kit to sound like as close to an acoustic in that sense.
I've spent a lot of time with it. The main thing that people don't mess with in the Roland modules is, especially the TD50, people don't mess with the ambience. And the ambience settings, they have multiple different settings for each drum, as well as the overall room sound and the mic placement. And just I spent a lot of time going through each drum individually and listening to the various different samples they had, and then being like, right, okay, what's the best middle ground? Because I didn't want to go around. I wanted to essentially approach it with the idea of I am miking this acoustically, but obviously doing it digitally. So if I was going to mic all the toms, I wasn't going to mic one with the equivalent of the mic up here and then the other like this to sort of get the sound I wanted. I wanted to go for that matching sound. Hence why the toms have similar sort of effects. And also they have, if you notice, ambient sounds. You can hear the cymbals.
Yeah, the vibration of the cymbals in the background.
Now, I've done that on purpose. I've sidechained them because on my kit, I have things so close together that the stands rock against each other, and you'll get that. And the same, obviously, when the bass drum goes, you'll get the snare buzz going. You can hear that ever so slightly. So I programmed that all into the kit to get that sort of resonance between various parts. So it wasn't just as if you'd EQ'd the heck out of one thing. And it really made the difference.
Getting a raid.
Raid by Thomas Frank. Yes.
Thomas Frank.
Thomas Frank.
Yes, thank you, honey. Thanks for that raid, Thomas Frank. Speaking of amazing musicians and Dream Theater fans, he's another big Dream Theater fan, by the way.
He's amazing.
Thomas Frank 93 is an amazing guitarist. You guys are not following, please give him a follow. He's also a New York City guest, YenYorkCity guest. And yeah, we ended up having a great time. He was on the podcast and it was so fun. So guys, we have MrGregles tonight. Can you, I did not imagine this. After 2 years, I got MrGregles.
Yen thought I was joking when I said, I asked Greggles to be on the podcast and he said yes. And she was like, no.
Yes.
I'm more than happy to. I'm not that special. So.
You are. It's an honor to have you
To
here.
us, you are.
You really are. And to
we're happy
many
to have
on
you here.
Twitch. I mean, I think MrGregles is one of those really loved Twitch streamer drummers. And I mean, just having you here is an honor to have you. Honestly, I thank you so much for this time and showing us everything that you are doing here in the community. It's really big for us to have you on.
Oh, thank you.
And
I
when I first started,
I don't think of myself that way.
You're a legend.
when I first started on Twitch, like I had my acoustic kit, and I think that's how you knew me at first, with the acoustic kit.
Mm.
And then
Yeah, I remember the first stream I came in. You played Grapefruit.
yes,
Thank you, Unicorn.
Yeah, I remember that.
that was fun. But and then I saw that you had your electronic kit, but what really captivated me was the way you had your stream set up, and I'm like, man, this guy really has a lot going on. Like every hit is moving his scene, and like I know.
Will my overlay actually come back?
Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
I mean, that's next level right there.
Yeah, and like he has that triggered with his drums, so when he hits a specific instrument, look at it move. It's nuts. And I'm like, wow, like how come I didn't think of that?
Because you're not MrGregles.
Because I'm not MrGregles.
That's why.
And I had an idea of how it worked, because I used to use similar programs as well for specific things, but not in that sense, you know? And it's just having to see it and then see how you, like, not just you, but other drummers, but specifically you at this point, because like I seen that happen. I'm like, wow, I can actually do more with this. Like this is stuff you can actually do with these programs.
Yeah, it's like I say, a lot came from my visual effects, but also a lot of the ideas came from just people's suggestions. Whilst watching, people would be like, oh, it'd be cool if this, and the bullet time was legitimately a joke that someone made, because I hit my stick off a tom and it flew past me and I went, whoa, and they were like, oh, look at Greggles, you know, Neo. And then someone was like, oh, can you imagine like the in slow motion? I was like, oh, I know how to do that with cam.
So
Could we do that?
That inspired it.
There you go.
Yeah, it was a joke. I thought it'd be a gimmick, and now it's the thing I'm most known for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're literally the only streamer that has something like that that's running it, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's
Special.
I've seen a couple of other people attempting it now.
Yeah, well, that's because you gave away the secret. And I blame you.
Well, he's inspired a lot of people.
He was like, the only thing I won't tell anybody is how I do this bullet time. And then now he's like, this is how I do the bullet time.
You're getting all the morsels and the gold here, guys. Like all the goodies and stuff. I mean, what a blessing to have you on and telling us how you do this.
I have my little wireless camera rigged up. I can show you like the studio.
Oh yeah, let's see that setup as well.
So
and the monitors behind
rundown.
you, that's set up for the studio as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have 5 PCs. So one of those is a storage server, which you can sort of discount, but it runs all the files that you see in OBS, all of the backgrounds, all of that. So there's a PC running the backgrounds. There is a PC. Uh-oh. You still hear me?
Yep.
I can still hear you. Yeah, you're good. I can hear you.
Okay. Your Twitch stream died for a second on my big TV, and I was like, oh god, my audio PC's died again.
Our network is kind of like blasted for some reason.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so I like I say, 5 PCs. One of those is a storage server. One PC runs the backgrounds, and that runs OBS plus a program called Synesthesia, which is actually a VJ piece of software. And then we have, you can see from this angle. No, you can't. Oh, you can't anymore. There's a big screen here. I have a PC dedicated to just audio, and then I have another PC dedicated to just the bullet time, with running the 20 cameras and the 5 capture cards that we discussed earlier, and then the main PC, which runs everything into itself to obviously send send all of this out to Twitch. I mean, I can actually show you with the foot cam if I hit the right button. I mean part of my drum kit. There we go.
Aw, there goes the chicken.
Oh,
The chicken.
need to move some symbols. There we go. So this is what it looks like from weight.
Wow, that looks like fun to look at behind the drums.
There you guys are.
Hello.
So yeah, I've got obviously my main camera on its slider. I've got the audio PC. There's the bullet time, background PC, and then main OBS.
Whoa.
Is that a magnifying glass?
Where? Oh,
Up in the middle.
Jeez.
Up,
Right?
up in the middle. Oh no, that's a light. Is that a light?
oh, that's a light.
Oh,
Sorry,
wow.
yeah, that's one of my stage lights.
Oh, that looks from here. It looks like a magnifying glass. I guess it's just the glass itself from the light.
Yeah, it's got three. It's the glass, and then it's got three balls in that can refract the light in different
Jesus.
ways.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And then we've got my control room through there, which I can show you in a second. Which obviously I was sitting through there earlier. But yeah, these three screens, they retract up into the ceiling, or they retract flat, so I can record YouTube videos and things without them in the way. And then camera on slider. That's the side cam. Got the snare cam going next to me on this little slider. And then obviously this one does sort of like a slow pan. Trusty aircon keeps me cool.
Beautiful.
Best thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
It keeps a lot of the sound out too, because it's a wall. It's like in wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this building was fully built to be soundproof, so the walls are about 1.5 feet thick.
So no one can hear you scream.
No one can hear me stream. But yeah, I custom designed the whole building from the ground up when I literally moved house to get this studio.
Wow.
It's I designed the whole thing from scratch to be designed as a music studio, but mainly a streaming studio, so I could do everything I wanted and not hit any limitations for a while anyway. Even though we've now been joking about on my stream me getting a warehouse, but maybe that's in the future.
Hey, you never know,
never know.
right? You never know.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. The
But,
MrGregles
yeah,
school.
Yeah, that's a setup for the gods of drumming.
Speaking of,
Let's
amazing.
say
we were going to talk about the classes
Sorry,
and
go on.
stuff that he's taking.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that right after his studio tour.
Yeah.
Oh
So-
yeah, I'll save the control room tour until if we're talking about drums. I'll stay here. But I mean the other thing was obviously my drum kit has become over the years more and more integrated into the setup. So as much as I have all the 5 PCs, my drum kit controls the cameras. I have foot pedals and I have my octopad here. You can see it. So when I'm drumming, that's what allows me to change cameras, and it's quite intuitive because it means I'm not reaching over. And even my Stream Deck, though, is positioned so I can literally just go poke and trigger things. But then it's using a piece of software called Atom that myself and Dust, who was in chat earlier, we're creating for streamers. So you guys will be able to do all of this without
Nice.
all of the plugins and all of the extra stuff. So yeah, with the sort of like development of the studio, we've used the studio to develop that software because, I have the ability to stress test it.
So you moved
So-
from Bomi into that?
Yeah, so Atom runs everything now. It connects all 5 PCs together, automatically discovers them on the network. I can send any signal from it being MIDI, DMX, Twitch events. I can control my channel points. People can, if you go on to when people are on my channel, they can choose the channel points, but I can turn those on and off at will. Trigger effects, trigger,
Wow.
speeding up and slowing down songs, you name it. Like we're releasing that hopefully within the next couple of months for streamers because so many people have always asked like, how do I do this stuff? And it's like, well, unless you got a mini supercomputer, it's pretty hard. So we designed the software so people could run that sort of stuff on a laptop.
Incredible.
Well, let me know, and I'll be glad to run it for you.
Thomas Frank is like, so when is Greggle going to Mars? I think Elon could learn a thing or two from MrGregles. For real. Greggle coins, when?
I'd invest.
I know, right? Sign me up. That's
how I'll pay for the warehouse. Greggles coin. That's it.
Yeah. So since we're behind the kit, and we're just gonna go into what Yen was about to ask.
Oh yes. Sorry, I need to.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you were taking lessons with Thomas Lang.
Yeah, I still am. I've been basically a month and a half ago now. I saw on Instagram he'd advertised that he was about to start doing lessons, and I was like, that is a once in a lifetime opportunity to study with someone like Thomas. Shush you. Sorry,
Thomas
one
Lang.
of my cables was being strained, so I'm just trying to do this so it's not straining it. But yeah, I saw him. Shut up. I saw him advertising his lessons. I was like, I've got to do this. So that that not cheap, but holy crap!
Hashtag worth
the first
it.
lesson. Yeah, he totally redefined my whole technique in the first lesson. He was like, right, okay, you've been doing this. Forget it. We're gonna do this instead.
You mean he told you to chuck things you've already programmed into your playing style and said, no, we're not doing that anymore.
Listen, you're not going to play like you. You're going to play like me.
It was basically, he, sorry about this. There's weird sound. I just don't want the cable to die. Because
don't worry.
stretched.
Oh, good background music.
We're live. It's okay. It's live.
There we go. I just need to attach that to there, and that will fix it. Anyway, so yeah, I went to him and he's like, right, play for me, and I played, and he was like, right, okay, couple of things, your playing is not symmetrical. I was like, oh. He was like, yeah, your left side of your body is really weak. It's like, oh, okay. Like, also, how are you holding your sticks? And I used to hold my sticks like this, with the fulcrum between these two fingers. And he was like, nope. Move it to the middle and thumb. Like that. And I was like, what? He's like, yep, that's how you should be playing. So after, 12 years of this, I started playing like this. And it has changed how I've played.
What?
Sort of like the power I have is far superior. The control I have, you're using a lot more of your wrists. So, I've been really doing a lot of wrist training. But the precision has just come in my playing, and then also playing symmetrically, so playing a lot of odd groupings of things now instead of going around the kit constantly like this. I'm playing a lot more 5-stroke rolls, and then so being able to lead with my left hand. And then he was teaching me how to go up and down the kit and being able to count in odd groupings. So when you're going down the kit, stopping on a single and then coming back up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then if you want to make it even, you just add a double at the end.
Take notes. Take notes, drummers.
And I was like, what?
That's so that you're not getting crossed over with your hands while you're moving up the kit. It doesn't feel as unnatural. It's more natural now because you're leading with the opposite hand.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
And it was just like, that's so obvious. Why didn't I think of that? And then being able to play sort of like really reach with my playing, playing 5-stroke rolls and 7-stroke rolls, sorry. And then, but extending that sort of... And then being able to play between drums, he was like, you've got to push your strength. And just that grip change. You know, I couldn't do that before.
Yeah.
And now I can.
That's good
Obviously, I've got a long way to go with it, but
You're just taking those few lessons really helped build the feel for having to move your body, your arms, and your playing.
yeah, and then foot technique. Obviously, you know, Thomas Lang being known for being the god of just foot technique. He's redefined that as well. So you might have seen in a couple of the songs I played, I'm playing a lot more heel down, and then accenting and working on that with my left foot as well. So I've been just constantly sat here just playing things like this, and paradiddles, accenting. And I'm obviously awful at it right now.
So you're accenting on the lift, on your heel up.
Yeah, and making my motions more fluid, and just being able to multitask and do a lot more independent limb exercises. And I have a whole notebook behind me just of... It's been phenomenal. Like, you know, when you hit a rut in your playing, and
Your
you're like,
plateau.
how am I going to get past this? Yeah, and you'll just be playing the same things. You try new stuff, and it just doesn't stick. And then one lesson, and it sort of brought that enthusiasm and enjoyment back, and it was just incredible. And every single lesson I've had with him has been exactly like that.
Wow.
So
That's great.
I keep learning.
I reached out and I was like, so what are your availability like? He was like, well, here's what I do. And he sends me all the stuff. And I'm like, wow, I need to save money now. So one day I'll get a lesson, and hopefully if he still has the time to do it.
Yeah, I had some personal savings for various things that I'd wanted to do. Is like, you know, if the opportunity ever came along and I actually had a fund for drum lessons with big people, and I had that packed away and I wasn't touching it. So at the moment I saw it, I was like, there we go, that's it. It's being spent on that. And it's been invaluable, you know. It's cost a lot of money, but it was forever changed how I play. So
it's made a world of a
100%
difference.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's been a month, and you already feel like it's really changed a lot of the way you used to play, and now you feel more comfortable too.
Yeah, I guess the one thing which always got me, and most drummers will have this with something, is you always watch someone and you go, how do they do that? And you try and emulate it constantly, or you try and just copy it in any way you can, and it never works until it's told to you. At least I've known that with a couple of people. And the one thing that always freaking got me was how drummers were able to do this and just stop.
I do that.
So when you're playing like this, if you try and do that, it sends a shockwave up your arm, and it's freaking horrible, and you're like, what? But when you hold your grip like this, that little bounce it can do at the start absorbs all that shock, so you can do all that.
Yeah, so I had all these calluses. Drumming calluses.
But just with the grip change. So, you know, I was playing before, like, if I go back to my old grip, oh boy. And I was sort of like bouncing, you know, every time like this, not doubling, but having to really try and control with my fingers, where with this I could...
It looks cleaner too.
It's just like that alone was worth it for the lessons, because after years of being like, how are people doing this? It was like,
And it's like epiphany.
You're like smacking your snare drum the entire time trying to figure it out.
Legit, I was sitting there going, no, Yeah.
There's people in
like
chat
say-
saying they're trying to do it as they see you doing it. Jess.
Yeah, it's just holding your sticks like that, and then putting your finger out. Also, to train your wrists. Obviously, never play like this. But Thomas showed me. We'll turn off the overhead cam. Let's turn off. Is that one that's making it all dark or really light? Okay, right. Playing like this because it stops the rebound. So you have to pull it up with your wrist.
Huh.
You have to pull the stick up. Now, obviously, he was saying don't play like this, but when you're training yourself,
Just to build the muscle.
it just it creates a burn there. It's because you know there's no bounce from the stick at all. It just stops it dead. So for when I started like this, obviously it requires a lot more wrist strength. I was just playing like that. And you do that for 10 minutes and just try and but hard. Or just builds muscles. Sorry, I find this stuff fascinating.
Yeah.
No, like when
A
I
little bit obsessed.
when I
That's
first
why
started
we're all like, huh? We're just like staring at you like, oh.
when I first started drumming, I used to go to my godfather's house, and they used to play a lot of Spanish music. So I was playing like a lot of salsa and merengue stuff, and I was on the timbales, right? And when I was taught how to play the timbales, they had me hold the stick with the fingers out, and I guess that's just to build the muscle group of my wrists while playing. So
Yeah.
that you mentioned it, I'm putting that together in my childhood, learning how to play drums, and I'm like, oh, so that's why they told me how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd always been taught like this originally with this grip because it's timpani grip for wind bands and things, and I played a lot of that. And then also sort of like jazz style, traditional grip for jazz. You play a lot on the ride on the side like this, obviously. Because my original drum teacher played traditional, so I learned traditional grip, you know, to begin with, and all of this sort of thing, and the... You know, that sort of thing with the traditional grip, it was just wonderful, but obviously you need a lot of finger control, and that's why I played with that as the fulcrum. And then obviously I just took that around the kit. So it's fascinating now when I'm playing. I can now adapt between the two different grips, especially when doing sort of like more fast, you know, hi-hat work like that. I'm moving the fulcrum there, but then when I'm playing, the fulcrum's back between my thumb and middle finger. It's just, I find technique fascinating.
I got people. I got Jess. All right, that's it. I'm hitting up Gregles for lessons. I mean, and he has one of the most amazing teachers teaching him even more. Like that's, yeah. Hit him up. Go ahead, because you're gonna. This is gold. It's gold.
No, yeah. I just like learning. It's fun.
You also have a SPDSX, right?
Yes, I have two. Well, I have an SPDS. And I have an SPDSX.
Are you utilizing
I have
those?
Predecessor. I do my little party trick mix on it.
Ooh.
Party tricks.
Which is just 1 second. Let me turn it on.
Party tricks.
We got party tricks.
Now this apparently is a dubstep kit. That doesn't sound like a dubstep.
Sounds like a fart.
So yeah, I do sort of like a little mix with this, right?
Work it, do it, harder, harder. Work it, do it, harder, harder, harder.
And yeah, you know, I can just sort of like mix with it and then
So clap, so.
go random other silly sounds on there.
Woo! Get it, Greg. Oh yes.
Hey!
MJ. DJ Vine.
Hey, if you ever need to hydrate,
God, I could really do with a glass of water.
Ooh. Oh, it's done here.
DJ Greggles.
so I do a sort of like remix with that. I mean, this one's my favorite little thing. Well, no.
Okay, I lied. It's drum and bass. What you gonna do?
Oh yeah.
Wait for it.
Oh shit. Okay.
You know, you can do really silly
Jeez,
things
you
with
got like, yeah, that's a party for sure. That's a party.
Did you program that in there?
Oh, Tetris.
I have loads of weird things on there. So
It's awesome.
We're gonna use this as a clip highlight for this.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Just have you dancing.
I need this one just for when chat gets sick of me and they're wanting me to drum. It's like, everyone in chat, Greg, play a song!
Shut up, fool!
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing. You programmed all that in there?
Yeah, I cut songs up, and I really like using it as a sample pad rather than a percussion pad, just because it, you know, I want to add more samples on there. DMCA being an issue is just fun, but I want to cut up more songs, and my plan eventually is to have chat be able to pick like 1 to 9, and whatever they've said, I've got to mix it together somehow. So like hit pad 1, and then they'll be like, right, pad 3, and I've, you know, so it could be.
Okay, I lied. It's drum and bass. What you gonna do?
You know, it would just be really fun and stupid. So.
Hey, that's the whole thing to it. You want to have fun and not just stupid, but it's also fun.
So are you pretty like in line with the whole because you mentioned the DMCA thing. So do you like to mix it up and play just a certain kind of songs, or do you sometimes just do mashups that are maybe a little safer, or how are you about that? Because I know everybody went crazy, especially last year when people started getting hit with that.
It's so we've been doing dream streams where essentially we don't have VODs or clips on, which is a bit crap, but it does allow us to get away with playing a lot more stuff, which is nicer. Because it can be very boring playing a lot of DMCA free music constantly.
Right.
Just, you know, there's only so many times you can play Monster Cat before you get really bored.
Yeah.
So we do DMCA free streams, so there's VODs on the channel, and people can come in and see what the channel's all about, and obviously we've got the podcast and everything. But then most of the streams I'm doing at the moment are, like I say, these dream streams. So people can request what they want. We can just have more fun. The stream flows a lot better. And yet there is the risk of DMCA, and, you know, if we end up getting a strike, then obviously I'll have to reassess things. I'd hope I don't, and I'm really hoping that Twitch will finally do something in regards to licensing and helping us out with it. But
yeah, because a lot of us are asking for that.
Yeah, until then, I'm just rolling with it essentially, and this is also why
fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go with more tech streams as well, for the fact that I love the tech. You know, a lot of people want to know about the tech and be taught about it. So I'm trying to bring that in as another form of content, just in case. So people get used to that, and if we have to do less drumming and more tech, then so be it. I would prefer, obviously, that not to be the case, but yeah, trying to diversify and keep on top of the times is quite important.
Are you in any bands, or do you have any like original stuff that you make?
I have an original song that I play on stream, which I recorded many years ago, but I don't have a band at the moment. Yeah, I always wanted to play in a band again, but I played in a band where we started making originals, which I loved. It was amazing, so fulfilling doing original music. And then sadly, the other two guys in the band, the bassist and the guitarist, lost their jobs and they had to move away. And the only other bands that I sort of like chatted to, or they wanted me involved with them, they just wanted to do covers. And it was just so boring.
Yeah.
At least on Twitch, when I'm playing, I can cover anything. In the sense that I'm not restricted by other musicians as to what I play. And that sounds kind of bitchy, but, if I want to play Dream Theater, I don't have to have people who can play Dream Theater with me.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but if I'm in a creative environment with other musicians, I want to be making original music. I want to be jamming and creating. And that's sort of the direction I want to go is recording for and with people to create original music. Again, it's another reason I built the studio. So if people came to me and were like, I've got a really cool idea for a song, I'm like, yeah, let's go. So
is that about
that's what I'm hoping for.
Collaborations with like other musicians on Twitch to create like original music and stuff?
Yeah.
Bouncing ideas back and forward?
I've gone and played with Autopilot a couple of times. He's based in Manchester.
That's a big one.
Myself and him have played together quite a lot, and he's phenomenal. So I'm really hoping after Corona, myself and him can meet back up again and write some things, because he's just a phenomenal musician and producer in his own right. So playing and jamming with him is always a pleasure, because we just bounce off each other. We really get each other musically, which is really good. Really nice.
Well, it's definitely a thing you want to search for when you're playing with someone, is that chemistry.
Yeah, most definitely.
Like having to find
I'll
this
swap
band.
through to the other room for a second. Actually, I'll show you the rest of the.
Oh yeah.
Setup. Because I've designed it for composing. So.
Yes, let's do it. Let's see the other room. Hey, Darkman24, Chris. Waves, the man, Chris.
Rude and I have that chemistry. I know it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's good. It's a good one.
It's like, are we like the same?
There he goes.
Thirsty.
Hydration.
Yeah, then. Do you guys want to see the setup in here?
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what you got going on there.
Okay.
See it.
Let's see the wall of monitors.
Right, let me just get this connected. Connecting to your computer. Why, thank you. That's very kind of you. One second, it's just getting there. It's rare I use this, so. Come on, you can connect.
You can do it, camera. Connect. So for all of you guys that are just tuning in, if you're missing the whole, missed the beginning portion of this, we have MrGregles here, showing us his wonderful setup and talking about his lessons with Thomas Lang and how he started with Twitch and growing on Twitch and a whole bunch of other fun facts and information about him. So make sure you check out the YouTube video later this week when we upload it, and also the audio files. We're going to start uploading things on Anchor real soon, and other podcasting platforms. And check out the VOD after this if you want to check out the rest of the podcast from earlier today before it gets taken down in what I think a span of 2 weeks usually it lasts. It's up.
Yeah, they disappear after a while, don't they?
Yeah, that's how we download them.
Sorry, my camera isn't connecting on my phone. It should be, but Apparently not. There we go. I'll just close the app and I'll start again.
And yes, this isn't a green screen trick. Yen and I are together in the same room.
For the first time, we're both here on the podcast, and he's not in dirty Jersey. He's in New York City now. So it's a big deal because not only do we have MrGregles himself on the podcast, but we are reunited, and he is now a New Yorker. So,
Whoop whoop.
whoop, whoop. Yes, it's a big thing. So yeah, dirty Jersey, you already know, Chris.
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah, so we'll have more podcasts coming up. We're going to have more summer streams, a lot of other kind of content. Yes.
And honestly, having to be here and experiencing Yen's cooking, it's freaking amazing. And I never want to leave this house.
Yeah, I gotta fatten him up and get him, more like protein. I've been giving him a lot of protein so he can, get more muscles and stuff. Cause
I die every time I have to go to work because I want to eat.
Yeah.
I love cooking. Yeah.
See, MrGregles loves cooking. See, I mean, I love a man that loves cooking too. So he wants to learn how to cook a little more.
Yeah, I gotta get better at cooking. I experiment when I cook, and sometimes it's good.
If you can learn the tastes, it gets so much easier.
But we do want to do like cooking streams, and then we're gonna try to get recipes and stuff, and that way I can actually learn how to cook some real food.
Yeah, different flavors. Different stuff. Well, what's your favorite dish, MrGregles?
Oh, I love sushi.
Yeah,
I'm a
sushi.
big sushi fan. I absolutely adore it. It's my favorite thing in the world, in all honesty.
The first time he ever had real ramen was with me. He was eating the bag ramen, Greggles.
the college
No.
microwave like that.
No.
Ramen.
I took him to a real spot in the city, and he was like, "What is this? I need this in my life." I was like, "Yeah, you were doing it wrong. You were eating." I mean, the shame. He even used
so good.
Yeah, but yeah, he loves Japanese food too. So
Japanese is.
I had a
so good.
after having that, I tried the bag thing again, and I'm like, I can't have this anymore now. Like this isn't. This
It's
is
ruined. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's it.
it's good though. It ruined it in a good way.
Yeah.
Now
I'm
you know
sorry
what's
about
good.
this.
When you know something's good, you don't go back.
Yeah, that's true. This worked earlier and was totally fine, and now my phone just doesn't want to connect to. I'm on the Wi-Fi.
Restart the phone.
Oh god, that would take forever. It's an iPhone, so it takes like 1 billion years to
Yeah.
just slowly turn off, and then.
So guys, if you want to ask Mr. Greggles any questions, let us know, because we have him here with us tonight. It's an honor to have him here. Mr. Greggles, I didn't ask you, what was your first song that you nailed as a kid that you were so proud of? The moment you actually...
Song 2.
Yeah, that you learned in its entirety on the drums.
Song 2.
Song 2.
Woo! Bow, down,
Oh, Blur.
Blur, Song 2.
That was
Yeah.
that was your alert, remember?
Yeah.
No, your
It's
raid, your
honestly-
raid.
One of my I did not mean to do that. It's one of my favorite songs of all
Woohoo!
time. Is that it's just so good.
Woohoo! Remember the
don't know
video, the
why
music
this is
video, when he stomps on the pedal?
And just starts puts the distortion on you.
Yeah. I remember.
Okay, well that isn't apparently working, so thank you, technology, for being so brilliant.
We're just live, and this stuff happens. And guys, MrGregles has an amazing podcast too, and it's with 2 other drummers. I mean, I have one right here, Luna Satori, but he has. Tell us about those other drummers that you have on the podcast with you, and you do a lot of drum talk, right?
Yeah, myself and Dan Drumstone and Floop.
Floop.
Yeah, every
Dan
Saturday try and you know, get together and just talk drums, everything drums, what we've been practicing, what we're looking to achieve in the future, and it's wonderful. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I tuned into a couple of them, and some of the information and stuff is very like informative, like talking about different types of sounds of cymbals and drums and shells and what they do, and you know, technique, and you know, just giving some insight on the drumming aspect in general is actually really, really nice. I enjoy watching you guys.
Dan is so incredibly knowledgeable with everything. It's just amazing. The wealth of knowledge he has that he passes on to everyone is, yeah.
Yeah, he's very
amazing.
big on tone.
Yeah, his drum sound is fantastic,
Mm.
and I love the room he has for his drums. And then Floop, his playing is just insane. Yeah, I aspire to be as good at drummers as those two.
How did you guys get
really
together
do.
and say, let's do this, and let's do, and what days do you guys
I just
do
asked
together?
them.
You just
I genuinely, during COVID, I was like, I'm bored on Saturdays, want to do a podcast, and they both went, yeah, sounds good.
I was like, all right.
That was it. Yeah.
Let's do something different.
Yeah, it was so spur of the moment, but we've been doing it nearly a year now, actually.
Is
kinda
Floop
scary.
out from streaming drums?
Yeah, Floop hasn't been streaming drums for a while, just with various things going on in his life. So I'm sure he will be back soon. I can't say anything, you know,
Yeah.
okay.
like for definite, but we have been chatting about it, and you know, he has a lot going on, and he wants to return and make sure that when he's, you know, drumming and on Twitch, he's really
Everything is
enjoying
solid, yeah.
it. Yeah, exactly.
So
You'll
there's a
get that.
question here from Benny. Does Gregles have a different submix than Stream? Any sort of compression used to make things behind the master output, etc.?
So what you guys hear is pretty much raw. Aside from I do a little jiggery pokery with delay. So I would show you if my camera would work, but no. So I run Ableton Live, and the only difference with the mix is I have the music a little louder in my ears, just so I can sort of like really absorb myself into it. Still hear my drums, but you guys hear it a little less than I do. There isn't really any compression because I have a little bit of compression and a limiter on the main tracks, just because on various YouTube tracks and Spotify tracks and things, they're not obviously all created equal.
Yeah.
So I use that to level things out, but I usually mix it per song, just, you know, with my faders. And then what I was talking about with delay is, due to the way that I have my audio set up, my latency is very low. My latency currently is running at, for stability purposes, might have reset, but it's around just under 3 milliseconds. And because the Roland kits themselves have a latency of 1.65 milliseconds, I have taken the round trip into account, and how long it takes for the sound to actually be generated and sent into Ableton, and I delay the track output by half of that. And the reason being is that when I'm hearing the track and then hitting a drum, it will be slightly out of time, because the loop back from the audio PC itself is actually faster than, you know, what I'm hearing. So the track delay on the master output that you guys hear is delayed by that literally 2 point something milliseconds to account for that round trip that it takes for me to hear things and then respond. So you will obviously hear me exactly in time. You'll have that a lot in when you record in Ableton or any DAW, just because of latency, the in and out, etc. You'll listen back and you'll be like, I swear I was in time, and things will be slightly out, and that is due to the fact you're monitoring what you're playing. So, like I say, that track displacement accounts for that. And that's it. That's the audio setup. I have a lot of routing with my audio. I do all of my audio networked, so it's all using Dante and 2 audio interfaces that I run. So obviously the audio PC runs Ableton and that distributes it out. So what you guys are hearing on stream is the mix that I actually send to Rick, who does all my lighting. And that obviously has the audio from yourselves cut out so you don't hear yourselves back, etc. And it has a more subtle mix, which allows Rick to do the lighting properly to the beat of the song, etc. And then I have the main mix, which goes out to my stream, which has everything included, any audio sources. And then finally I have another one which is sent out to Synesthesia, which runs the background screens to make it audio, make it interactive, which is rather bass boosted because the EQ in Synesthesia reacts very well to bass. So yeah, there's the audio setup.
Wow,
that's it.
So,
there's a lot to go into it.
Say that again, but less.
Really non-complex setup. Also, hello everyone. Hey Tree.
I have Ableton Live sending audio to a lot of places in various different ways.
Rick is one of them. How did you meet Rick? And how is all that? Like, how long ago did you get him to do all those things?
So, Dust and Rick, Dust and myself, Dust is helping and writing Atom with me, and well, he's writing it, I'm helping with other bits. We created that software together. He came into my stream when I was doing Front Page during COVID in March, I believe.
Front Page. Hi.
Yeah, I had Front Page for 8 weeks, and he came in and was like, whoa, like, what's going on here? And we met and got chatting through that, and then Rick as well just came into the stream, liked what was happening, liked the drumming and the setup, and stuck around. And then I was saying I wanted lights for the studio, and he popped up. He was like, hey, I'm a professional lighting engineer. Want some advice? I was like, yep.
Yeah, sure.
And it went from there, and he set up various things so I could control the lights like you guys saw. But then we toyed with the idea of him doing it live, and we were like, well, how can we get it to be done live? And yeah, we just went from there. So currently we've got it to the point now where he has an audio feed sent to him, which is extremely low latency, especially for over the internet. It takes 44 milliseconds to go to him, and then obviously he's sending signals back, which the lighting signals are smaller, so they're faster, and he can be in time with me, especially when like you're just tapping a light to flash on and off. And now we've got to the point where he even receives my full video feed, so I can actually show you what he sees. He sees this grid. I'll just remove the main stream out, so he sees this grid with all my cameras, no effects or anything like that. So he can see what he's lighting and how it looks whilst he's going.
Huh.
So he watches that while I'm streaming, and
then your stream on the top corner.
Yeah, and stream. Everyone gets the main audio out, the main feed. So yeah, there's quite a lot going into it now.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot for a MrGregles stream to be shot out there into the universe, and you guys get to enjoy this. And I'm just processing everything that you're saying.
I applaud you.
All right, yeah, you guys, let's actually get a real applause here.
Standing ovations for
really
his mind.
If I can stand
for the madness of his mind.
Your head is getting cut off.
It's all right. I don't need my brain anymore.
No.
Yeah, it's really intricate and elaborate and over the top and amazing, because I don't think anybody's doing it like MrGregles. MrGregles is like next level, and it's.
I'm just trying to. I do this stuff not just for the sort of like, it's not for the, oh, look at me, I'm gonna try this again.
I don't think you do. I think it's just you really enjoy what you do, and then you just.
And you want to share it.
Yeah, and it's
I'm genuinely just passionate about technology and how far it can be pushed. It enthuses me in, and it makes me happy. It really makes me happy.
It makes us happy that you're happy.
Yeah, because we see the passion and enjoyment that the streamer is in when they're in the moment, and they're entertaining us while they're having fun. And if it isn't fun for the streamer, we can tell, right, guys? We can tell when a streamer's having a good time. I love that. And that's why I think drummers, to me, I'm so attracted to drummers, because the energy that it takes to play a vessel, you know, like a drum kit is an extension of you in so many ways. And you're the foundation, you're the heartbeat, you're the one that's like making me want to dance, you know. And bass players, I have, you know, a soft spot for bass players too.
And like a lot of the guitarists and bassists, like most of your energy comes out when you're standing and playing, because then you have the room to move around. Whereas we're sitting down, we only have our arms to showcase and our bodies to showcase in the sitting position. You have a thing in front of you, you can't move when you're sitting down, you know. So so that you know, it's fun when you see someone that can actually push out and like move and be able to do things.
Marco Miniman always said, you know, if you put energy out, you get energy back.
Beautifully said.
With drumming, that is incredibly true.
I feel that.
You know, and also with you, if you put energy in as well, you get energy out in your music, let alone your performance. It's gonna work. This is really sad. I wanted to show you like the setup I have in here, and I can't really take the.
Well, how is it? I mean, we can wait. I mean, how long is it? It's fine.
You know what?
Unless you have an extra C920 somewhere later.
Love the positivity.
Plug it in.
Yeah, Michael C. Stone, we were talking about you. We were talking about you before stream.
You say that, I have 300 of them in this drawer.
Well, now that you mention it.
I was actually gonna go and get one, but yeah.
Hey, Michael C. Stone. We were talking about you before the podcast.
Michael C. Stone is another amazing drummer here on Twitch.
Oh yeah, we were. Yeah, I was telling Gregles about you and how all those amazing musicians and drummers that you were in collaboration. You know.
We're moving.
Like, you gotta check him out.
So,
and Tio Ponte.
this is what this room looks like. 1 second. Let me get rid of that annoying thing. So this is what I see.
Holy monitors.
Oh my gosh. How many? I need them
I have
all.
a lot.
And I thought I had a lot going on
How many
here.
monitors do you want?
I need every single one of them.
Yes.
That's all cool.
So yeah, what do you got going on there?
So essentially, those screens that you saw hanging from the ceiling in the other room are all mirrored in here. So background screen PC, main output PC for OBS, and bullet time PC. And then obviously, again, this was mirrored into the other room. This is my audio setup. And then I've got this setup. You can see the lighting software running here. And then we've got all my networking. So that runs all of, you know, my networked audio. I've got a PoE switch here and my patch bay, and then my UDM Pro, and then a 10 gigabit network switch, Stream Deck, my Theta headset, and then behind that you can just about see my 16 line. So that red thing there is my audio interface. And then if I can turn this, these are all my PCs.
Wow.
Yeah. Guys,
So there's four in there, and then there's one at the end. You could just see it here.
So
That's the audio PC sitting.
how's the heat in there with all the PCs?
With all the PCs.
It's very good because I have server grade aircon.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. Perfection. So this is the cockpit of the spaceship.
Spaceship. Yeah.
Spaceship.
This is what I need.
Gregles. That's amazing.
It's
Incredible.
designed. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you still.
Oh, okay. There we go. Is that back in? It's sort of back in place. So it's the whole setup's designed. That's really. Is that better? That's better. There we go.
There you go.
I'm like,
the whole
okay.
setup-
I'm like, am I straight?
Has to go backward once. The whole setup is designed to be fluid. the one thing that I always hated when I was, on the old setup was having to get up to go and change stuff. And ironically, I still have to do that. And I just need to finish messing with some routing of USB cables and things so I can, access anything from anywhere. But I wanted to be able to walk into this room and chat to stream and talk about tech, build something, and then just be like, oh, we're going to go drum now, and just walk through to the other room like I have been. And, click a button and the camera switch over. But to do that, I had to be able to see everything that's going on because I like to be in control of that stuff and know what's going on. I had to have that all omnipresent, essentially. Hence all the monitors. And then, to run everything, I needed all the multiple PCs. So it was like, right, okay, each PC needs a minimum of 2 monitors. One in there, one in here, and then extra monitors to do various other things. So, and then all my audio interfaces, I needed properly cable managed. I had a lot of networking. So it just built up over time this idea, this idea of making a fluid workflow for music, for streaming, just creativity in general, really.
Yeah. Yes, that's kind of like the goals that I'm trying to get to, where it's just like every section has a station, and then you just sit down, hit start, and then you're good to go. And you don't have to worry about like the full transitioning, moving things, and then if you want to go from one point to another, you'll have that ability to go from one room to the next and still keep the stream flowing.
Yeah, it's really jarring when you have to be like, right, we're gonna go and do this, and then there's 5 minutes of setup, or moving a microphone physically through, or moving a camera. It just sort of jars that flow, especially when you're in that creative zone. So yeah, it's changed how I work as well, being able to just come in here and be like, right, today I'm gonna do this, and it's just there. It's all set up and ready to go. Whereas when I first started streaming, my very first stream, I had to put up a backdrop every time, and I had to turn on all the PCs, and I had to set up all the cameras because the cameras couldn't live in a permanent place, basically. So yeah, it's nice to have gone from that really sort of temporary setup to something that is very solidified.
So how often that you get this moment of like, when you walk into that room, you're like, man, like, I did this.
Like, most days.
He doesn't take it for granted. He remembers everything he had to do to get to this point, right?
Yeah, I maintain the philosophy that the moment you accept anything is the day you lose it. Essentially.
Words of wisdom.
It's always been that way in my life. Anytime I've gone, well, this is this, and I've accepted it as rote, it's changed. And it's why every time I stream, I thank everyone, because the day I don't thank people will be the day that it all falls apart. The day I'm not appreciative of what I have is the day it'll change. And it sounds superstitious and everything like that, but
you're bringing out positivity.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not just about the fear of losing, in the sense of I'm not afraid of losing anything. I would just not like to. But it's more the point of
gratitude.
If you feel, in my mind, if I feel that I need to still earn it, it enthuses me to be better, and I like constantly seeking that. Be better for my audience, make better content for them. Hopefully bring more light to people's lives, and everyone around me, and try and progress and help others. I mean, most of my time off stream is spent helping other people. I get about 80 messages a day on Discord and Twitter about tech or drumming or various things, and I do my absolute best to reply to every single one of them, because it's really important to me that when I was in that situation, and I reached out to a couple of people when I first started streaming, and they helped me, and I want to do the same. I want to pass that on. And obviously I can't help everyone, but I'll do the best I can, because that little bit of help may help someone achieve their dreams, and then, you know, say in the future as well, when they come back and they say, you know, thank you for it, it makes my day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't
You're so
expect anything in
grounded.
return for that. A lot of people say I'm too giving at times, but I'd rather be too giving than a gatekeeping dick.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
like I say,
And there's
the
a
only
reason
thing I
why
wouldn't
there's so many
reveal-
people that love him too, because of that, because of the way you present everything and carry yourself, and people feel that. Like what we were talking about, energy. It's totally something that it projects and it mirrors and reflects you, because your community is what you are, right? So you creating
exactly.
this space that they feel safe in, and they love coming back again and again, because of what they feel when they're around you, your presence.
And as Yen says, your vibe attracts your
Your
tribe. And segue, we have shirts that says your vibe attracts your tribe. Command merch if you want to get some shirts
it's
with
true,
Yen York
though.
City and rep your vibe attracts your tribe shirts. And...
Wait. Speaking of merch, I gotta ask
Buy the
Mr.
merch.
I have to ask MrGregles. So, do you have a merch with Phil on it?
I do, yes.
And
We a
have
t-shirt
have
with
you
Phil
gone
holding
to?
some drumsticks.
Oh, yeah, like the ones. Yeah. So, have you gone to any of the Twitch cons? We went to the one in 2019.
So I went to TwitchCon Berlin in 2019, and I also went to TwitchCon San Diego, and it was my first time in the US, and it was incredible. I loved it. It was amazing. I just want to go back.
I know.
I can't wait for the next TwitchCon, which obviously will be at San Diego again. Myself and Nos, we only had the weekend there, and we regret not booking longer, because we want to see more people. We want to do more things. We had a very short amount of time. The hard thing was the fact that obviously, you know, with Twitch being work, a lot of things we had to do were work orientated. I had like the whole first day was just me in a Twitch meeting, essentially,
Yeah.
for full-time streamers. So, you know, we want to do it's just a lot more, and see more people, especially, you know, I know everyone got in the drumming community went out for pizza and things, and I wasn't able to join because
Oh yeah,
we were
pizza.
doing other stuff, you know, and I want to be able to next time get involved with all of that. Yeah, be really nice.
Yeah, we were there, and we didn't go to the pizza gathering. Yen was like, "You should go." And
I
like,
got invited, okay? I got invited, and I wanted to go because I like to mingle. And he was like, "Oh no, I don't want to just like be in. I don't know anybody. I'm not gonna be asking everyone." And I was like, "Just be,
Hey,
you know, just,
I'm a drummer. Do you want to follow me?
yeah." Like he's not that type. He's not that type. And that's why I was saying MrGregles, because I'm the one that's always booking everyone, right? And it's always, it's easier for me to talk to people, and I'm really good at, you know, I guess I'm a people pleaser too. So, you know, I book them. I'm like, oh, whatever day is best for you. So, you know, I work really well with people, and that's just the way I am. But he's not the type that he goes out of his way and he doesn't approach and stuff like that. So that's why I thought it was a joke. I thought it wasn't real when he said that because you guys talk, you know, behind the scenes and stuff about gear and all that stuff. He was like, oh, guess what? And I was like, okay, we already know. And then that's why I feel like it was a surprise, and it was so beautiful and awesome that you agreed to be on the podcast, because I definitely don't go after a lot of like Twitch partners and things like that. I do have friends that were on the podcast, but it was kind of like very natural, and I don't like I wouldn't chase anyone really or approach anyone that I feel like I feel like I'm leveling up a little by little from the 2 years that I've been doing the podcast. You know?
Well, the thing is with Twitch, you know, a lot of people see this partner tick and they're like, oh, partner, ooh. And I wanted partner for one reason, transcoding, maybe more emotes. Like that was
the emotes.
That was
It's the emotes, definitely the emotes.
You know, I like to think I'm approachable. I would like to, if people don't think I'm approachable for whatever reason, just approach me. You know, I don't hold myself above anyone else. I don't see myself as being better than anyone else. I think, again, my opinion is if you do that, then you're setting yourself up for an ego failure. Let's put it that way. And you know, with things like this, it's quite funny because Luna, obviously, you'd messaged me after the whole.
I felt like that was a good opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about that. Is it controversial or anything? But like, I thought that was pretty funny, and that's why I thought it was a joke.
I get approached a lot by people to do, I get approached by a lot of people to do interviews and podcasts and various things, and I can't do all of them.
Right.
And, you know, I try and fit as much as I can in. But the one thing I always say is to people, I'm like, look, you know, if I can't do it now, I'll do it later. Anyway, most people approach me in a really nice way. This guy, obviously, he came in to my stream, and yeah, he came into my stream and was like, hey man, I'd like you on my show. We talk about this, and this, and I'm a music, and all of this, basically self-promotion. And I let it slide because I was like, fair enough, he's asking about the show, because he asked where could he get in touch with me. So I told him, and he emailed me. And it was just very demanding, basically being like, I want you on the show tomorrow, and saying...
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, saying a load of stuff, and I replied, and I was like, look, man, I can't do it that early. I can't do it the next day.
Like the next day.
And also, the tone of your email was really quite hard to deal with, etc. And then obviously the self-promotion. So I replied, trying to be really constructive and nice, like I would, you know, I've had that before. For example, 8-Bit Drummer. First time I ever went into 8-Bit Drummer's chat, he went, hi Greggles, how you doing? I was like, oh, you know me? He was like, yep. We've had some people coming in and saying that I should go and check out your stream and watch you. And he was like, you know, I don't know whether you sent those over, but, you know, just maybe warn your community about that. You know, it's not really accepted on self-promo or things like that on Twitch. And I was like, man, I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. And he was like, no, don't be sorry. Just, I know you're new to this. I'm letting you know. And he was really constructive and great. And Jared is amazing like that, because he wasn't being malicious. He could have blocked me. He could have been a dick about it. He didn't. He chose that time to just take time out of his stream and be like, hey man, I know you're new, let me help. And I will never forget that. Like, so kind of him. So I was trying to do the same for this guy, and then obviously he sends back the whole email, basically marking it like he's a teacher in red pen, being like, well, I don't think your reply is...
Oh my God. No.
I'm not going to lie, if you're trying to get someone on a show, you don't go back to them like that. So I replied, and also he was very sarcastic in his reply. So I replied, I was like, because he was still like, oh, do you still want to come on the show? I was like, no, I'm going to decline this time, maybe in the future, you know, trying to be nice.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I hadn't posted anything on Twitter until he replied again. I was like, this. So I blanked out all his name, obviously, and put this all over Twitter, being like, look, just a piece of advice, if you're approaching people, don't be like this.
Don't be this guy, not this guy.
Yeah, but then he called himself, Well, then I went onto his channel just to check out his channel on the day that I was supposed to have been on the podcast, according to him, and found the VOD that he'd just finished recording, where he essentially berated me and and swore constantly, called me every name under the sun, and it was quite something to watch.
So that was more of like an attention for drama than wanting to have a legitimate podcast. Like,
not the way to go.
And if you watched, I went and watched some of his podcasts with some very talented people from the music community who had agreed to go on it, and he made it about himself, and he was constantly talking over them and things like that. And that was one of the reasons that I hadn't wanted to go on the podcast, etc. But then he did this, and obviously I was like, you know what? Because he'd said he didn't mention my name in the stream, but he had exclamation mark douche in his chat, which linked people to his Discord where he'd posted all our emails, and then he literally spelled out who I was. He hadn't blanked out my name or anything. So I was like, right, if you're doing that, well, so I posted on Twitter. I was like, look, if anybody in the music community gets approached by this idiot, just be aware this is what he's like.
He killed himself at that. That killed everything.
Oh, yeah. The thing was, though, I never ever once incited that people should go report him. I never said anything like that. My genuine concern was just, don't go in his podcast if he's like this. Protect yourselves, guys.
Yeah.
You know, and then people had said he'd been very forceful with women to get, you know, and ladies out the music community pestering them for months to go on his show. And I was like, whoa. And then, anyway, loads of people went and reported him. He got banned. So he disappears for 7 days. He sent me through a member of my community an apology.
An apology.
Yeah, being like, oh, I'm so sorry, and and all of this, and apparently was too afraid to get to email me back, and too afraid to jump in a call, but he asked for a call with me. I was like, yeah, no, that's bait.
Wow.
That's bait. And then after the 7 days, he comes, I checked his channel, had seen he was, you know, back, and yeah, it was, the first VOD was him pretending to have an interview with the CEO of Twitch.
What?
With someone faking. There was a picture, just a candid picture of CEO of Twitch with someone pretending to do his voice, basically, again, berating me and saying like, oh, his replies were basically like,
ridiculous.
I don't have loads of followers to go and send after someone to get them banned and things. I was like, oh.
That's sad.
So I just left it. It was like, you're a waste of space. Goodbye. But again, that's like the thing, you know, if people approach me nicely and genuinely, then I will talk to anyone. I don't have those opinions of, I don't go and, like, I hadn't looked at his follow account or anything like that before I replied to the email. It was just on the way he'd interacted with me. I didn't go in his, I mean, he had 157 followers. He'd been streaming since February last year.
Wow.
You know, maybe that would have told me a little more about his channel and his VODs. But again, I approached it from this guy is...
trying to establish something.
In a very bad way.
Well, I mean, the emails, he's obviously, you know, he's new to it, and he was trying to do a podcast, and I was like, look, you know, trying to help. Again, it's the whole point of, I wasn't trying to be a douche.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you were very polite.
Until things got a little bit more escalated, and then it's like, well, I mean, I'm still not a douche, but I'm just trying to warn people about you, so...
Yeah, and I felt horrid posting that stuff, because I'm not like that. I don't like
no, everybody knows that you're not.
You know, but again, it was, you know, when it comes down to like the whole partner thing, just because I have a tick badge or, you know, I've been on I might have how many followers, does not mean I'm bigger or better than anyone. Like there are so many streamers who I watch who I just sit there like, because, you know, and are smaller than me. It doesn't, I don't care. I really don't care. It's not about that for me. Mm-hmm. You know, it's about just getting to know and enjoy other people's like-minded content and you know, discovering new things as well. Like, there are so many people in the chat now who I lurk a lot.
Aww.
A lot more than people know.
I've noticed.
But when I'm working, I will always, I follow, I religiously try and follow every drummer and every new drummer that comes on Twitch. So whenever I'm sat working or doing something like that, I will have a drummer on, you know, to try and support someone, etc. So, you know, it's very important for me, because that's what people did for me, and that's what allowed me to get to the place where I am now, where it's my job and it's the best thing in the world. So if I can do the same for someone else, or I can raid someone else, and my community go over there and they're like, yes, let's do this, and they stick around, then, you know, I'm happy.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
It's awesome when you raid us and like we see your name pops up, and like even like Dan and Floop and stuff, like you're supporting like the smaller streamers and stuff. Like it really says a lot about like how much you want to support others and like and showcase like other talent as well, and just being like within like the top numbers of people, you know.
And I noticed that in the drum community, a lot of the drummers are very supportive of each other, and it's more like a family, you know, like everyone is kind of looking out for each other. It's like, oh, check out this guy, he's new. So this is where I wanted to ask, because I think this is important for a lot of new drummers or streamers or anyone that wants to start streaming on Twitch. So what would you say are the do's and don'ts for someone starting on Twitch, and what you don't want to see in the future on Twitch, or what would you like to see change?
Hot tubs.
I have an opinion on hot tub streamers, and a lot of people may disagree with me, but I think fair enough. I'm not gonna lie, there is a girl called Indie Fox who she streamed Twitch music for years and years and years. And she sort of hit 200, 250 viewers, maybe peak. And she's very talented, lovely girl, very bonny, you know, as in pretty, etc. And she now does the hot tub streams, and she's been able to buy a house. And she's still doing the music, but she's been able to get herself in a financial situation. And the thing for me is, I hate the idea of Twitch being a very over-sexualized place, because that is not what Twitch is about for me. But also, I hate the idea of people being, these persons are stealing my views. I'm like, no, no, that's stupid. You know,
it's free for all.
You're just not entertaining enough for them to watch you over someone else.
Yeah, and also the whole thing of, oh, people over a certain age shouldn't be under a certain age, shouldn't be watching this. I'm like, that's why there's a maturity filter. And anybody who says, oh, my 9-year-old could see this, I go, well, read the terms of service. You've got to be over 13 to be on Twitch anyway. So bye.
That's true.
You know,
yeah.
So I have my opinions on that, and I think, heck, just go for it, girl. If you've got the body confidence to do that.
I mean, you're only hot for so long, right? Like, if you got it.
Once you hit a certain age.
You know,
everyone's
hey.
going to be able to see this for ages, you know.
I never even thought of anything of, like, as long as you're not, like,
MrGregles hot stream one?
breaking out a vibrator or anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, then it's
there
fine.
are other websites for that
For
sort
that,
of thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're not doing that, then you're fine. You're fine.
And the whole idea of viewing, I'm not gonna lie, the people who watch those streams are going to just watch those streams. They're not. No one's stealing anybody else's views, because that person has probably never even considered there's a music section of Twitch or a Valorant section of Twitch or
I didn't even
whatever
think
the
there was
biggest
that
game
many.
is.
I really, you know what it is? Because I guess I only watch like music streams. I don't even get them in my suggestion, so I would have to like look for it. So
You would have to go and type it, exactly. But like I say, I think there's a fine line, and it does have to be observed that, you know, over-sexualization, that is not the platform. But if someone can make a living out of it, and there are those people that can make the living out of that, then go for it. You know, I'm not going to hold anyone back. I do think when it comes to do's and don'ts, you know, obviously what you'd ask me. Sorry, went off on one with the hot tub stream thing, because
I think
it's a very
Matt
hot topic
said,
right now, isn't it?
yes, because Matt Scurfield
I'm
said
just-
something.
Yeah, I guess long story short is I am supportive of people who just have the confidence to do it, as long as it's not hurting anyone. You know, I would not be able to get in a hot tub. I would eat myself alive with self-confidence issues. So go girl if you can do that, you know. But back to sort of like do's and don'ts.
Mhm.
First don't is do not start Twitch thinking you will make money.
Yeah.
I have never seen a streamer start on Twitch with the intention of making it their full-time job who has succeeded. Never once. It has always come from a passion aspect. The people who end up making it big are the ones who do it as a joke, do it for fun, have a serious thing they want to share, etc. Just want to hang out with people. That is what attracts an audience. That is what will make people stay, is the fact that they see you're genuine. You want them there. You enjoy and are passionate about what you're doing. And, you know, it's the whole cliche thing of don't stream something unless, you know, stream what you enjoy doing. But it's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're not enjoying yourself, no one else is.
Everyone's going to see
it.
it.
But if you come in with the intention of making money, you will always put that first, and that will always guide the way your content goes, and it alienates people extremely fast. So there's like my one sort of thing is really assess if you want to be on the platform for creating content or money. If it's the second one, then maybe take a break before you start, you know, and reassess. Secondly is don't think you have to network. The one thing that I see so many streamers doing when they first start is joining loads of communities with the intention of just trying to get viewers. And again, what I've always done is I've watched and chatted to people who inspire me, and I've followed them and become part of their community to enjoy what they do and learn from them.
Exactly.
And in doing that, I have become part of their community. They know who I am. They've come and watched my stream. They've shouted me out. They've raided me. And that's come from that indirect interest. So again, being genuine is really important. You know, not just popping into someone's stream to be like, oh, hey, hope you get a shout out, then leaving, going doing it to the next streamer.
And that's so
because
gross.
Streamers will notice very
Yes.
quickly. And then as well, self-promotion. Self-promotion can come in many ways. And you may not mean it, or you may not think you're doing it, but the worst thing ever is when someone indirectly self-promotes. And the classic one, and I've had to tell so many new streamers this, is they come into your stream, they go, hey, how are you? They hang out for a bit, and they go, well, I'm off to stream, see you later.
Oh,
Or off
yeah.
to go and play some of the game that they're playing on stream. And as much
Or
as...
off to go and watch someone else.
That's just, come on
that,
now.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing there is that any streamer who's been doing it for a reasonable amount of time, not even that long, knows exactly what it is. It's not sly. It's, it's not going to bring people over. People in the chat are just going to go,
Yes,
and
Max.
that's it. The message is gone.
That's another one.
Do you know if XX is live now?
Or, this
you-
person is live right now.
That will get you timed out in my channel faster
not
than
cool.
you can blink.
Mm-mm.
And that's the thing for me is making sure that you're genuine on this platform, because it's just the best form of success when you get it is because you earned it.
Organically.
Exactly. And then dues, which a lot of people don't talk about, I guess, which is always concentrate on your audio first. The amount of people who will bother with an extravagant overlay or ridiculous cameras or fancy effects and everything like that, no, stop it. If you are a drummer, if you are a music streamer, if you are a gamer, if you are sitting in a hot tub, if people can't hear what you're saying properly, or it's fuzzy, or it's noisy, or it's distorted, or it's people aren't going to watch, because the majority of people who watch big Twitch streamers are lurkers. And if you can't satisfy someone who is sat just listening to you, maybe having a cup of tea, not even looking at the screen, just listening to you chatting or listening to you playing music, then if they can't hear you clearly, you've lost them. And
That's a great one.
it's the biggest way to succeed is make your channel lurker friendly. Because like I say, I lurk in so many drum streams because I glance over, I listen to the conversation, I listen to the music, I'm like, brilliant, I'll listen, I'll go, oh yeah, that's right, I agree with that. I'll be talking to myself as
if you're part of the stream and you're there, but you're feeling it within your own aura, your own environment,
Yeah,
Like a show,
it's
like
like
a
being
show.
it's like being at a gig, but instead you may be sat in the back on a seat, just enjoying a beer and being like, "This is
I
good."
feel
music."
that.
Yeah.
That's just as important as the people who are right there up at the front doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So audio first. Secondly is, if you are going to stream, use OBS. Just use OBS. Don't go with Streamlabs OBS. Don't go with XSplit, because why pay for something you can get better for free? Just go with OBS. There's a slight learning curve. There's 1,000,001 YouTube videos out there on how to do it, but you will
Or ask
have
us.
a much you will have a much better streaming experience going forward, because when you imagine something and want to do it, OBS can achieve it. All of my setup is run through OBS. There's a testament to what you can do with it.
Yeah.
And then probably the final one is, make sure that you don't stream constantly. Everyone thinks that streaming success comes from being live 24/7 or as much as possible. And really, that is the easiest way to lose those initial viewers that you get. Because you will start with a core community, like 5 people. Some of those are going to disappear later. There are a lot of people who have been in my channel and, were like my first ever subbers or supporters, etc., who don't watch anymore. Pop in occasionally and say hi, and we welcome them back with open arms. Never remark on how long someone's been away,
Oh, okay.
But, those 5 people that come and support you, they're going to get fatigued by being there constantly if you're constantly live. Shh,
Yeah.
Aqua. And
that makes sense, yeah.
Well, it's like they're soaking in the same content over and over again. You can only have so much of someone at the same
I
for
need
so much time.
space. I need space. Let me breathe.
It's like watching a television show. Like even if it's like episodes and you're doing something different each show, like we have the podcast, we have a drum stream, we have like an art stream, we have like a cooking stream. Like if there's a lot of variety going on, then it'll probably make more sense. But if you're doing the similar things, you can only take in so much of that.
Let's put it this way. Who here has binge watched a series and can tell me exactly what happened in every single episode?
Unless you're watching Game of Thrones and then you get disappointed at the very end. But
yeah. but the thing is, it's like with that, you'll remember maybe 1 or 2 things that stick out, but the general ones will start to blend together, and that's really key. Is if you're streaming every day as well, there's no anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
And now here's the thing, and to address in a way what Aquad said is, okay, yes, I do need to have more of a break. That's on me, but I just work constantly. I'm a bit of a twit for doing it, but the difference is when you get to a certain level is making sure if you are streaming constantly because it's your job and you need to make money from it. I have a sub goal every month that if I hit allows me to pay my bills. If I don't, I have to take out my savings. So the more I stream, the more chance technically I'll get, because I have a big enough audience now that it rotates on different days. People will watch at different times. I'm not streaming to the same audience constantly. Yes, there are those people who will always be there, but they know also they can leave me one day because I'll definitely be live another. But that's why I'm trying to rotate content. But when you start is more the point of, don't fatigue those early viewers, because they're the ones who will make and break you. Mm-hmm. You will one day see those numbers rise and everyone panics and they all think, how do I maintain that? And just carry on. Just maybe create a schedule. Make sure that you're doing something that you enjoy, and just carry on. Don't panic. I remember the first time I hit 10 viewers, and I went, whoa, we hit 10 viewers, and then 5 of them left.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd remarked on it. It's just let it happen. And it sounds so hard, and it is hard, and it's so exciting, and it's easy to assume that people will come back, but if you can just keep plodding on. Twitch is not this. You know, it can be for some people, but it's this.
It's a delicate balance. Just enjoy the ride.
I mean, the amount of I've had it where I've had 300 people naturally in my chat and stream for 2 weeks, and then suddenly one week it's dropped to 120, maybe. You know, when you're looking at stats and things, and it can be so easy to just go, "Oh God, it's all falling apart," and I still do it. I've been doing it for 4 years.
Yeah.
I still go, "What am I doing wrong? Everyone hates me." But it's
and self-doubt sometimes.
Exactly, but you've got to realize and be able to tell yourself, you know, if you're going to be a successful Twitch streamer, you are going to have ebbing and flowing.
You have to treat it like stocks.
There you go.
You have your ups and you have your downs, and then you have your ups, and it just keeps going up from there.
Don't panic.
It's also monitoring your weight. If you're working on gaining weight, your weight's going to fluctuate as you're gaining weight or losing weight.
You've also got to think about it like this. Who still watches The Simpsons every day?
I don't.
I used to watch it religiously every day. 6 o'clock, it would always be on TV. And then I got bored of it because it was on constantly. And you've got to realize as well, but now, I like the other day, I went back and I watched a load of Simpsons. I really enjoyed it after several years. And you will get viewers that are like that, who will be there and they will be constant and they will be your biggest supporters. And then one day they will just disappear.
Oh,
and then maybe a month, maybe a week, maybe 2 years, they'll come back. And that's normal as well. Probably the final don't, I realize I've gone on for a long time here, but you know, the final don't is don't call people out. It'd be like, "You haven't been around for ages. Where have you been?" Don't do that. If they say, "Oh, sorry, I haven't been here," then they've addressed it. You know, you could maybe be like, "I know I haven't seen you around, but so lovely to have you back." That will make people feel welcome.
Yeah.
And also, if you genuinely care, you can't remember everyone as well. And if you can't remember someone for whatever reason, or if someone says, "Do you remember me?" Just be like, "I'm so sorry. I've seen so many names in chat. I don't mean it."
In a long
you know.
time.
And if they have a problem with that, then you know, that's them. You can only do so much as a content creator, so don't feel guilty if others push things on you which you know you can't control.
And then surround yourself with good people that can talk you out of a panic. Yeah.
Get a good mod team.
Good mods, yeah.
So
how do you pick your mods? We're always asking this.
Because we're you know I struggle with finding some good people, and Yen tries to find some people to help out, and it's like, do we give them the opportunity, or do we have sign-up sheets? Or
and then
do we
some people actually ask, and you're not even thinking of considering
because you don't know
them that well.
Trust them with that kind of power yet, you know?
Because they're new, and I'm like, well, should there be a time limit? What are the criterias? What would you say are the points that they should?
So,
It's tough, right? It's tough.
So the way I always used to do it was I would genuinely someone who was interactive with chat, who was helping other people without being prompted, etc. You know, had been in the community enough, even a short amount of time, but still knew how things worked, or they were really happy and wanted to help out and were trying, and I would mod them. You know, and thankfully I've been very happy there's not a person I've modded who I've unmodded for the reason of I didn't like how they modded. There are people I've unmodded because they've been like, "Well, I just don't want to mod anymore." I'm like, "Thank you so much for helping." You know, my mods do it for nothing. I want to be able to pay my mods one day. That is an aspiration. I just need to get to the point where I can. But yeah, is good mods come from good community members and people who enjoy being there and want to help out. You know, and like Aqua, the Nick Gundy experience, and Drop Tree are all mods.
I want double pay, Greg.
Yep.
Oh,
I will pay you in sticks. But
quadruple pay.
you know, it's I trust all of my mods because they know the channel, but they did from the moment they were in there. And my mods have helped guide and create my channel as much as I have. And I've been really, really just guided by them in many situations. And it's really important to just let people, if you bring them in as a mod, let people have that sort of like interaction and say, because the amount of incredible stuff you get from them is there. But also, go with your gut, really. Just go with your gut. If you see someone and you're like, they could make a great mod them, you know. Yeah, I usually ask.
Yeah.
There's very few people that I've dropped it on. However, I did drop it on Aqua. I just modded her one day, and she's been one of my best mods ever since. You know.
And you just know, right? You have a feeling like this person is really good. They come, they enjoy, they interact with chat.
Yeah, that's it. And again, there's no easy way to pick a mod because, you know, you put a lot of not just ownership on them, but pressure as well can come from being a mod. And the one thing I've always tried to say is, you know, look, if there's ever anything you're uncomfortable with or you can't do it or you don't want to turn up to a stream, you don't have to. You know,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I tell like whatever mods I currently have. Like, you know, don't feel pressured that you have to be on every stream.
Yeah.
You know, if you can make it, great. If you can't, it's not a big deal. You know, you're
Don't
not
put
missing out a lot.
Yeah, don't put everything on the single mod. I see so many new streamers get a mod and then suddenly put everything on that mod.
No, that's
and take the mod for granted, and you can't. It's really important. You can't.
I would be like,
I've made that mistake. You know.
Yeah, I would be like, what is it that you want to do today? In a sense, like, what do you want to look after for? Or, like, do you want to take control of like the
shout outs
or the what is that, the request queue and stuff? Yeah.
I mean, the one thing, so with like Nick Gundy Experiences is a mod, and I'd put out a thing asking for mods because we need more mods at different time zones because of the studio, because I can now stream anytime I want. But again, when we got to that point of asking people, there was a list of requirements, but it wasn't like, you must do this, you must do it was, do you know the community? Are you up for being a mod? Are you up for being fair? You know, that's one thing, is you've got to make sure and just make it known to your mods what you want as a streamer. So all of my mods know, I go into some chats, and if some people speak out of line, they're banned instantly. And that is how that streamer wants to run their stream. And there is nothing wrong with that, because in the end, banning someone or timing someone out, or the way the mods handle them, makes the stream how it is, and how makes them the stream safe for that streamer in their environment. For me, we don't like to ban people. I think there's only a maximum of like 20 people banned in the whole 4 years I've been streaming. That's it. And the reason being is we always give people a second chance. And this is probably a do and don't, I guess, in streaming, is be aware that there are a lot of trolls who will become some of your most loyal viewers if you give them that chance. But by that I mean is, I've had people come in and troll me, you know, in some maybe slightly more severe and some quite funny ways, some in inexcusable ways, and they were a few of the people who were banned instantly. But those people, we time them out, and I just go, whoa, we're not about that here. But we're going to untime you out now, and you're welcome to stay.
And if you
do it again, if you do it again, you're gone. And yeah, my mods have permission to troll me. It's yeah. But again, it's like the amount of people I've done that. Well, yeah, the amount of people who have done that by, the amount of like trolls who have then gone, oh, I actually really like it here. Sorry, and I'm like, yeah, cool, stick around.
We convert the trolls, right, into like, hey, you're actually pretty nice and cool, and I like it here.
Yeah. And it can be wonderful. It's just being open, and obviously making sure when you pick a mod that person understands what level of openness you have in the stream.
I wish because I was as lenient as you are, because like my experiences was pretty severe where, you know, like I was getting threats and my family's getting attacked and stuff like that, like from these trolls in the past. And now it's like,
well, that stuff is gone, you know.
Instant ban.
But these people have regenerated new accounts and stuff like that. So it's like, can I actually trust people anymore at that point? You know,
he was traumatized in other platforms. That's why.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of tough to
really
give
hard.
second chances for me now. So it's like,
you see, I can understand that. Yeah, yeah, I can fully understand that.
But another thing also is when you give the privilege to mods and you're a big streamer and they kind of like boister up and then they start acting different sometimes, do you feel like then that's when you take the mod because it's like abusive mod privilege? Have you ever experienced, because I've heard that from people too, that they change.
I've never had an abusive mod. I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah.
But I've had other streamers come to me and be like, how do I deal with this? I'm like, unmod them.
Yeah, just
I'm
do
sorry,
it.
you know.
That's it.
If they aren't, chat to them and let them know, and if they continue to do it, unmod them. The moment you take away that mod power, you know, is in like the actual sword and the privilege, etc., that will be a reality check. And if at that point they throw a tantrum, etc., like that, then that's another point for you to just be like, yeah, I made a mistake, and be totally fine with it. Like I say, also there can be some people when I've seen others turn around and be like, look, I don't think it's really working as a mod. You maybe not hear enough, or maybe you're just not getting how I want to run the stream, and they've gone, well, I tried. You know, I still want to remain in your stream, and the streamer's like, yeah, of course. And
we'll make you a VIP
they've
instead.
gone on.
Yeah, because you remember in the beginning, I didn't want to be a mod. I was like, I don't know. Don't give me the sword. Take it back. Take it back. I do not want that responsibility. And then I was like, I'll take VIP. And everybody's like, well, what do you mean? You're a couple. You should be a mod. And I'm like, no. And it wasn't until like after a year and a half that I said, okay, I think I need a sword because nobody's doing their job, or people stop showing up, or they're like, and he was like, where are my mods? And then he was like, Jens, you sure you don't want to be a mod? Because I was always
I need
there.
a mod right now.
You know, I was like, fine. And then it's fine now. And now it's like the community's so nice and lovely, and there's really not that much of any of that anymore, because it's kind of like you kind of feel out and see things and patterns. So, you know, you feel it out. But like what Max A. Drub said, everybody runs their stream the way they feel is right for them, you know, like it's good. Like everyone's kind of functioning in a different way, and it's okay. Some people are really strict, and some people are like, you can tell me I'm the C word or whatever, I don't care. It's banter, it's funny here, we say it to everyone. It's like, so, you know, everyone has different ways of running their stream, and it's fine. So, but I think everything you said is, I agree with everything you said. And those are really good points, and everything you said in the do's and don'ts. I mean, this is why I love asking that question. Especially, I've asked everyone that's a Twitch partner, because I know you guys, it reached to a certain level where, you know, people look up to you and respect you, and they see you as a very valued person in the community.
Well, you also have a lot of people viewing you now, and then, you know, trying to build that community and keep it safe and keep it running smoothly without any, you know, problems. Yeah, it can be a task at times, but it's a good one. It's a rewarding one out of it. So, how about we play our last song of the night? Yeah.
And before we
choose one, yep. Brain. Depends how. I can do this. I can choose a song.
Oh, right.
I'll swap cameras. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So if you're not following Gregles,
where have you been?
I mean, I think everyone here is already following him.
Yeah. We have his mods here, and also everyone that's. Oh, another thing we didn't mention is don't mention the lurkers. Like when people are lurking and they're
yeah.
this person's in your chat and they're not talking.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just chilling and washing the dishes or cooking, because I know I cook and I hear you guys, jamming out and streaming, and I don't want to talk because I'm in the middle of not burning something. So, that's cool. Lurkers matter, and I appreciate everyone that lurks and just watch and just to chill and hear the conversation and the tips. And, that's really what I feel, too.
Just started following Greg? Nice. Yeah.
Amazing.
Anyone else that's not following, you follow this man. You follow him.
Excuse me.
He's the next level of Twitch streaming. And, I mean, he has an amazing story. So I think that's right there sums it up how this is why these podcasts are so special to me.
Our bearded dragon's going nuts. He was like, I want food.
Oh, yeah, we got a bearded dragon, and he's amazing, and I love him so much. He's a month and a half old. Yeah, he's like looking at his... So, guys,
Right.
I hope you enjoyed the stream. We're going to have one more last question before we close out, but he's going to jam out to one of his choice songs just to end the stream. You guys can see everything, and it's all glorious and beautiful. All the cameras. And so, yeah. So what's the song you think he's going to choose?
What do you got?
Oh.
Or is this a surprise?
This one, as long as it works, is a song by Jonathan Young, who is an incredible YouTuber, and I released an album called Starship Velociraptor, which I played fully through on Twitch. I don't know if the VOD's still up, but I basically learnt the whole album in 3 days. I am not warmed up at all, so we're going to see how this goes. But I really enjoy playing the songs off this album, so I thought it'd be a good one to end on. Plus, Jonathan Young has said it's all DMCA free, so it can be included any way you want.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, it's a bit of a hard one. I'm not going to lie.
You're going to knock it out.
I'll do my best.
We know you are. All right, guys. MrGregles, hype it up in chat. In New York City Live. Let's go.
I have YouTube muted. Lol. I was okay for doing it cold.
Wow, what? You killed that. That was amazing.
It was all programmed. He programmed all the drums on the album, so it's very hard to play like with acoustic drums. But it's such a good song. But I love jamming to it.
So fun.
That was nuts.
Yeah, that was amazing. And I really, really like how you just... I feel like it's just an experience to see you play and have everything going, you know, like just from one camera to the next. And I can't wait until you start doing everything else that you're envisioning in your mind, because it sounds like... I don't know how much more better it can get, but I know, like what you said, it's like once you stop and say, okay, that's it, it's done.
It's never done.
It's always something, right? It's always a little something.
I noticed you have
Gotta keep going.
that BT trigger bar as well on one of your toms. Ah, you
Here's
put it as
the
a cowbell.
I love when it's
we missed
cowbell.
that little one.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't use it much, but you gotta have a cowbell. If you don't, everyone just gets upset.
You
Yeah,
have
you
to.
have to.
You have to. like this baby right here, this smooth bell that came all the way from Germany.
Oh yeah, we had this crafted for my electronic kit.
Oh wow.
Someone named Alpine. It's Alpine.
It's Alpine.
Also a streamer here on Twitch, and we had him on the podcast. Was it earlier this year?
No, it was last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
And he also does 3D printing. So he printed
Oh,
out
that's awesome.
this section of the cowbell. He cut out the inside and then put like a trigger inside of the cowbell itself, and it works nicely as a makeshift electronic cowbell, a smooth bell.
I mean, he does it on stream. He also does he puts cameras so you can see how he actually creates and makes them. I just thought
I
it was
need to watch
amazing.
that.
It's really cool. An electronic cowbell. So if you guys want one, then you know right there it's Alpine, okay? He can make one for you. But that was amazing, awesome. MrGregles. I can't thank you enough. I'm honored, and I'm just like, I can't say enough how much I appreciate you taking time just to be here, because you don't have to do these podcasts. You already told us how many people approach you, and
Oh no, I wasn't meaning it like that or anything. Like, honestly, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
It's really, the pleasure is all ours, and I can't believe that I can say I had MrGregles on YenYorkCity Live, because I just want to see it grow, and I want to see more people get noticed that I probably checked out, and I put them on the podcast, and then more people get to see the new streamers. And that's why a lot of times I don't approach bigger streamers, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe I don't deserve to have someone that big, or, you know, like, it's almost like I doubt myself in that way, because I don't want to seem like I'm going after big streamers, because I want to also help other people, you know, that are like trying to get up a little bit, and so I have a mixture of it, and I seen how in the drum community, there's not a lot of people that have these egos about it. They're very down to earth.
No, everyone's lovely
in the drum community. And I think that's why I've had so many drummers, because they're so chill, they're really easy to talk to, and it always feels very natural, just talking with the drummers in the drum community.
And I could talk shop.
Yeah. So
right then.
Usually for the
I've just seen the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's so I usually close out with the soundtrack of your life question, which is 12 songs that you would describe your life with if you had 12 songs that were the soundtrack of your life. It's usually songs that you remember being your first song you learned. So, like, you know, song 2, for example, could be one in the soundtrack of your life.
Or something that inspired or reminds you of a good moment in your life that happened.
I wouldn't be able to exactly describe all the significances, but I'd say S Club 7's Don't Stop Moving, because that was the first album I ever owned. Cheesy, I know, but I loved it. Song 2, definitely, because first song I fully learned on drums. Frau Frau's Must Be Dreaming. First song I ever cried to.
Oh.
I just found it really beautiful with an animation I found on Flash Portal of all things, and then what's that? 3. Velt, or The Velt by Deadmau5 is the song that allowed me, and I've met my best friend through, Lisa. The Main, Don't Let Me Down, is the one that always reminds me of Nos.
Oh,
then-
I love that.
And then I don't have 12. I definitely don't have 12. But like my 6th and probably final one would be my favorite song of all time, which is Civil Twilight Letters from the Sky, which is just my all-time favorite song, which I just absolutely adore. So yeah. I don't think I have any more that are really sort of like really emotionally significant. But those are the main ones for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's either really hard or really easy to come up with 12.
Yeah,
know.
I mean, with me, music is quite an emotional thing. But I listen to so much music that really for having something to stand out, it really has to have done something quite drastic, like, obviously what said. So
Yeah, that's true.
But music's amazing. So.
And what's your genre of choice? I don't even think I even asked you that. You just pretty much love a lot of different music, right?
I really, the only one I don't really like is rap.
Okay.
I'm not a
That's
massive
fair.
rap fan, and then I still like some rap. So
Like the old
yeah,
school, right?
yeah, I'm not a massive fan of mumble rap and stuff like that, but I like old Eminem and things like that. Just music in general. I feel closing myself off to listening to one thing really limits my palette of music and understanding of it. So yeah, I just like to listen to as much as possible. I mean, I'm addicted to Two Steps from Hell at the moment, which is
That's one of his faves right there.
Yeah.
That's what I
They're
started
just
off
phenomenal.
on my YouTube channel with. It's a lot of Two Steps from Hell music, just covering their stuff.
Fantastic.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It really puts you in like your own story in creating like your drums on top of what they're doing.
Yeah. It's not standard beats.
Very open
Emotional
to
stuff.
interpretation.
Yeah, and driven by energy rather than rhythmic design, I guess.
Yeah, very true.
No, but yeah, thank you for having me on, guys. It's been a pleasure. I
Thank
am going to
you
have
so
to shoot
much.
off because it's 4:30 in the morning and I need to be up in
Jesus. Oh
several
my
hours.
God.
Yeah.
So
That's insane. Thank you so much.
But thanks
Mr.
again,
Gregles.
for giving us your time and
Anytime.
being on here. And we learned a lot, and we learned a lot about you. And I'm glad that we had you on here. And definitely want to get you back again in the near future. And once everything starts to get a little bit more crazy for you over there in the tech world. So, and
Hopefully TwitchCon too. We
Yeah,
can go
TwitchCon.
get a pizza, Mr. Gregles.
TwitchCon will be awesome. Yeah.
For steak,
I'm looking
hey,
forward to
if
that.
you want, we can take you out for steak if you're into anything. It doesn't really matter
I
as
like
long
steak. I do like
Yes.
steak.
Stirred.
Good steak
Stir.
is good.
Great
But-
podcast.
Until next time, thanks again, and good night, everyone. And we hope to see you again real soon. Next week, we have potentially a takeover stream, and the week after, we're gonna do. It's just Yen and I. We're gonna show you our new setup and layout and stuff.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be great.
Awesome.
Until then, have a great night, sleep tight, and hope to see you real soon. Much love.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Thank you so much.